Hello and welcome to the Silver Lining, the weekly geekly talk show where we discuss any number of topics that may have come up during the week. I'm your host, Uncle Silver, aka Silver Greg, aka Greg, whatever you're comfortable calling me. And welcome to you, my co-host, the chat. Always a fantastic time having everybody here for what is lining up to be a doozy of an episode. Hey, I'm early. Yeah, let's play. Thank you so much. Can't stay long because of work. Wanted to stop and say hello. No problem here, Hyrule. Very much appreciate that. I know that currently, as this stream is starting, John is streaming right now. He is premiering the part 2 of the Metroid Prime movie. Which, by the way, if you are watching this and you have not yet done so, head on over to, I believe it's Some Call Me Johnny's YouTube channel. It might be on Game Explain. I'm not really sure. But they are the parts of the Metroid movie which are have gone up. As of today, there are 2 parts, and then there should be a 3rd part next week. So depending on when I've uploaded this and when you're watching this, all 3 parts should probably be up. I've already 100% like, oh, you're playing Sunshine. Hey, Aqua, I thought I'd drop and participate in this week's discussion. What's going on, Aqua? I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Yeah, we got a chunky one today. So grab your snacks because we're gonna be here for a little while. Hey, Ryan, what's going on? We're gonna be here for maybe a little bit. I think that one of the discussion points is not gonna be super duper long. So we'll see what happens. There's just not a lot to talk about with the first. It's gonna be the first topic. As far as myself, 64 all the way. Oh, okay. I was playing Mario 64 yesterday. I'm so happy with the All-Stars Collect. Oh yeah, some people got it yesterday. Some people apparently they pre-ordered it to come in the mail, and so there were people of receiving it as of yesterday, which is kind of crazy. That's interesting. I'm interested to know if I had received it early and streamed it yesterday, would I have gotten in trouble? Because I didn't do anything nefarious to get it early. You know what I mean? Like, I ordered it and it came in the mail. It just happened to show up a day early. I'd be interested to know. It won't be here long. Change of plans now. My manager had gone into isolation and I'm left alone running stuff again. Of course. Gorilla, what's going on? Lilac, hello. The Hi Wario. I've not been around a lot. There have been times I've observed the stream. Also, I just finished eating a few minutes ago, so I'm fine. No problem. I appreciate that. Mine is arriving on Sunday. I went and picked up mine today. So I got mine. And it's still wrapped up in plastic. We will unwrap it as I, decide to finally play it. So I did pick up mine today. This is going to be a big silver lining. Great. That it is. I also found something else. I was walking around Goodwill today because, of course, I always manage to find something at Goodwill. A few months ago, I started drinking tea. This was actually not even a few months ago. This was like, God, almost like probably around the beginning of the year, I would say. I used to drink coffee in the morning at work. I have a coffee maker there. So I used to drink coffee, and I noticed that the coffee was starting to wire me up a little bit. So I switched over to tea. And then, of course, when I started watching Avatar: The Last Airbender, I fell in love with Uncle Iroh. And, of course, I fell in love with the whole concept of drinking tea even more. So I'm walking around the Goodwill store today. And you know me, I'm a giant geek. What do I find? This is a TARDIS tea infuser. So you open it up, you put your tea in, and then you drop it in your cup, and you wait for the tea to make. And then the best part, I'm going to see if I can try and get this. I don't know if this is going to focus. Hold on. Put my whole hand in the way there. Hold on. Let's do this. All right. Come on, camera. There we go. That is a sonic screwdriver for any of you Doctor Who fans out there. Can't be more British than that. Canadian. A TARDIS tea infuser. You are 100% right. This is as British as you get. It doesn't really get any more. Yeah. Oh, which sonic screwdriver? I believe this is 11's. I'm almost 100% sure that I won't be able to make it focus on just the. It's too small for the camera to focus on just that. I'm pretty sure it's 11's. Yeah, so I saw that and it was like 99 cents. I was like, yeah, it's got the 4 pincers, so it is 11. I saw it, I was like, come on, absolutely. Shell Shock Prime, thanks so much for the invitation to the host club. Very much appreciate that. Otherwise, it's been an okay week. I kind of emotionally, it was kind of a roller coaster. There was a lot going on this week for me. As far as just my personal life, which I won't get into here, but it was just kind of a lot going on. But it's, we're at the end of the week and it's nice, and it wasn't really, catastrophic or anything. It's a lot of moving things around at this point. So metaphorically and literally. So it's been an okay week though. Work's been pretty static, you know what I mean? Like no major fires. It's sort of weird. Like it was such a level week, right? Like, for me anyway. I don't know how everybody else was. I don't know if everybody else can agree to this or if you had some sort of crazy week. It's been like a level week, like, right? Like not a lot of ups, not a lot of downs. Which normally, when the heartbeat goes up and down, so a level week probably means I died. I don't know. This week may or may not be catastrophic. Okay, so the week itself was fine, but the ramifications of your week may echo in the ages of like the next 2 weeks. But how is everybody? Hopefully you all did have a good week. Hopefully you found something fun, and it's been kind of a wild week as far as gaming news and expectations. So hopefully your week was fun and you got to play some fun games. Week was okay. Managed to snag a PS5 and Miles. My week is messed up. I'm sorry to hear that, Ty Hard. I just got a lot on my plate, especially with job hunting. Yeah, job hunting always, whenever you get into a situation where you're looking for a job, that sort of disrupts everything, right? Because the next part of your life feels like it doesn't start. Of course, the dogs are barking outside. The next part of your life doesn't feel like it starts until you're able to get that job. So it's very disruptive. So I sympathize with you on that one. Act 2 of Metroid was very good. Absolutely. Not bad. Went through a bunch of family photos to send to my sister for her birthday. My week personally has been overall quiet.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
The Grandy Man 37, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. I guess I could say peaceful. Nothing really eventful, but the highlight was the mini direct. And the result of volunteer work I do involving Monarch Brother. Ooh, result of working with Butterfly. Working with Butterfly sounds interesting, and then it also sounds like you would work with them and then find out they're jerks, right? Like you'd find out like, oh, butterflies actually like eat other insects, and it's like, okay, they don't eat other insects as far as I know. The sky's finally clearing here in California. No more red skies. No more post-apocalyptic Blade Runner 2049-ish views. I really suck at sunshine. Yeah, I'm gonna find out how I do at sunshine eventually. Hey, Mark, favorite nephew, not John, me. Oh, it's my favorite nephew. Everybody, hi, say hi, Stevie. Yeah, no more Blade Runner. Got to play the Crash 4 demo and I loved it. I didn't even see that I saw something about the Crash 4 demo, but it's like I don't know where that came from. Highlights of the week were the PS5 showcase, although there were a few things that kind of disappointed me. Nintendo Direct Mini was something I'm happy with, and Mario 3D All-Stars, absolutely. Yeah. So ultimately, it's been kind of a mild week. Nothing too crazy. But a lot of fun. I think we had a lot of fun, especially with those presentations and all. And I feel like it's funny because when I was putting my notes together for the show today, I kept thinking like there's more, right? Like there's something else. I feel like there was another story that I wanted to talk about, and I can't remember because the things that we are going to talk about feel like they were headliner stories, right? We've got four different major stories today, two of which I don't know how much we're going to have to say about it, but I do want to talk about one of them a little bit more in depth. I got Disgaea play playable Virgil and Sunshine. Oh, that's all. Oh, yeah. From the different parts of the presentation. Yeah. Well, Rye, there was a part of the Disgaea event because I watched the Nintendo thing over again today. There was a part of the Disgaea presentation that I was not aware of. That I saw today, so we'll discuss that when we get to that. Nintendo said in a meeting that they're working on cutting edge. Yeah, Mr. L, I saw something about that. I won't talk about that just because it seemed like a lot of speculation. But there was a business meeting, like a boardroom meeting, and they were talking a lot about Nintendo was talking a lot about how they want to focus on cutting edge gaming. The implication, as I understood it, was that normally what happens in a console generation is you start to focus on things like scaling the system down, right? You start to focus on like the mini system or whatever, or maybe just a slightly better version. It sounds like Nintendo is talking about using cutting edge technology to bump up their system. So the speculation right now is that they are talking about a better Switch. So I don't know. I mean, it's all speculation at this point. So we don't know if that means a better actual hybrid Switch. We don't know. The thing that I always talked about was the Switch Home, which was a home console only version of the Switch. But because you're removing the screen and the battery and stuff, you have the ability to put better tech inside, more RAM, probably a better Tegra chip. You can bump it up, you bring it with you sell it with a Pro Controller normally. So that's something that I'd be interested in seeing, a $200 4K 60 FPS Switch would be kind of interesting. I'd be interested to see if they can do something like that. And, and it's always a speculation. Everybody always, not speculation. Everybody always has the same argument, which is they're not going to abandon the hybrid aspect of the Switch. That's always the big argument. Whenever I talk about that idea, the argument is always, but they're going to abandon the hybrid aspect of the Switch. You're going to have to play it at home. But Nintendo's already done that. Nintendo has already abandoned the hybrid aspect because they released the Switch Lite, which is all portable. There's no way to use the Switch Lite on your television at home. It is a 100% portable system. So Nintendo themselves have already abandoned the idea of keeping the Switch as a specifically hybrid system. So I would like to see them, like they did the Switch Lite, go the other way. Make a more powerful console-only version of the Switch. And there's tons of people who bought the Switch, and their intention was never to take it out of the house. Their intention was always, I'm afraid to take this technology somewhere with me. I don't want to sit on the bus and somebody grabs my Switch and runs. So I'm probably not going to take it out of the house. A home console version of the Switch sounds great. It should be small enough to stick a 1 terabyte SSD in there. Oh my God. Now we're talking. I think the next one will be a hybrid. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it will be. I'm just saying that that's more of my fantasy. I think that's more of my fantasy is a Switch console system. Give me the signal when you want me to put it in slow mode if it goes too fast. Oh yeah, no problem. 4K Switch with actual storage size, and I keep it and I keep it at the TV anyway. Yeah, absolutely. You can transfer your saves. The same games will work on the original Switch. The Switch Home will just upscale to 4K. I don't think it's that bad of an idea. I definitely think it's doable. Hopefully it's something to shut up the frame snobbers. Hey, y'all got any more of them frames? Nintendo also talked about more visual projects besides Mario movie in a recent report. Maybe more TV shows. Maybe a Metroid movie helmed by our own Game Explains Derek Bittner. I don't know. It would be cool though. The Switch Pro, it's the same Switch but with more themes. No, with themes, right? Because I don't think it really counts. Because what does it have, like a black and a white theme? I don't think that really counts as themes. That's more like a color scheme. I really think, Yakuza. Everybody tells me Yakuza. I should play Yakuza. I get so many people. Oh my God, dude, Star Tropics stop motion movie. I kind of like it. Ryan, that's an interesting point. I think Star Tropics I think Star Tropics has been due for a revival for a long time. I think that Star Tropics would be a nice property to use a different visual style for. There was a game that came out called The Tourist. I think that art style for Star Tropics would actually be really fun. I think that would be really great. Or the Link's Awakening. The Switch version of the Link's Awakening, I think that would be a really fun art style to use for something like Star Tropics. Star Tropics was always sort of lighthearted and campy in its presentation anyway. You know, bananas in your ears and all kinds of goofiness. That, you know, oh, we're here to Cola Island. Like, it was always kind of silly. Just what Mario teaches typing. 3. You know what? Give me a Canadian. Give me a Mario teaches typing, but it's also mixed with typing of the dead. Ooh. I always thought Earthbound would make a great TV series. Oh God, here we go. Unqualified gamer is about to cream his pants over the idea of an Earthbound themed show. Oh God. I remember when Derek mentioned his idea for a Metroid game. Metro movie in a Game Explain podcast a while back. I never thought he would work on it. Yeah, he did great on it too. It's coming along fantastically. Game, TV shows, movies. Dragon's Dogma came out on Netflix. That Dragon's Dogma is a show now. What? It's only been like 3 decades. Yeah, overdue revival. Yeah, Mr. L, it had 2 games, right? Star Tropic had 2 games, and it's like, I think it's due for a revival. Anyway, we have let's get off of Star Tropics and get on to today's topics. Oh! All right, let's hope I put all these images correctly. Show, not show. Hey! All right. So you suck. Oh, Lilac. See, Lilac, that's what that sound effect is for. That's what that's for. So yeah, Naboo, you suck also goes to Twitch. How bad is that? So I don't really have a lot to talk about with this topic. I just knew that I wanted to bring it up, and I didn't want to bring it up during viewer topics. I try not to hijack that section as much as I can. So Twitch has decided to start rolling out some sort of practice thing where they're going to randomly run ads during streams. I don't know who this was for. I don't know if this was for partnered streams or for affiliate streams. They're talking about doing random ads. The one thing that I did know that I did not know yesterday, because I think this announcement came out yesterday or the day before. The one thing that I did not know is that it's not going to remove the stream completely. Apparently, the stream, right here, is going to shrink down to a window, and then the ad will play while you can still see the stream. So it's going to be like a picture-in-picture thing. The problem is it gets muted. Exactly, Ryan. It gets muted. So once it's muted and I can't hear what the person is doing, I don't. The stream is effectively off. When you do that, the stream is effectively off. So I know that they think that, but you'll still be able to see the stream, but I can't hear the stream. And if something exciting happens and you decide to go to an ad, everybody's going to lose their minds. They're going to lose their minds. And one of the things that started happening was, and I actually like this, on Twitter, people were posting, and somebody beat me to one of the ideas. I was going to do one of these ideas, and then I looked, and somebody beat me to it. What they started doing was taking these really popular moments from Twitch, and right as the exciting thing is about to happen, they cut to an ad. They're doing it for like the Red Lobster ads. They did it for a couple other ones, and they used the scene when Tim the Tatman gets his first win in Fall Guys, and it's a really exciting moment, and it cuts to another ad. There were a couple more that I forgot that they showed. The one that somebody took from me, that they didn't take it from me. Evo moment 38. I guess it was 38. The one where he parries all of the hits. Who was it? Was it Justin Wong? Was it or 37 with Daigo? And then we all know the scene, right? We all know the scene. Right when the parry starts, and the second you hear the crowd like, oh, it cuts to an ad, and it's like, imagine you're wasting something like that, and that happens. Imagine, and here's the thing. Wasn't Twitch partnered with the NFL and they were showing like Thursday Night Football? Imagine fourth quarter, Hail Mary pass to the end zone and an ad plays. I know that we're not all the biggest sports fans. Hail Mary and end zone, right? That's football, right? Imagine all of that. And he drops back. Here we go. Who's going to win the game? Does he come down with the ball? Red Lobster ad. I don't care that you shrunk it down to the corner of the screen and that I can still see it. That is absurd. Unbelievable. It boggles my mind that nobody at Twitch said, hey, this is probably not a good idea to not give, and that's a big thing. You're not giving streamers a choice in this. You're just doing this. You just decided, okay, we're just going to start doing this to people. That's not okay. That's not an effective thing. Here's what you can do. This is what you can do. VODs remain available on your channel. What is it, 45 days? It's not 2 weeks. It's much longer than if it were longer than 2 weeks, I would have lost a ton of Silver Lining episodes because I forgot to export them over to YouTube. It's something like 45 days or something. And then I think for partners, it's 60 days. Monetize those. They're not monetized for us. That's something that I don't know if you guys are aware of this. VODs are not monetized. 14 days is 60 if you have Twitch Prime or partner. Yeah, I don't have, I guess I have Twitch Prime, but I'm not a partner. And my VODs, I thought my VODs stayed up for a very long time. It didn't feel like 2 weeks. Monetize the VODs. They're not monetized for us. If you guys skip the show and watch the VOD instead, that doesn't generate any revenue for me. I don't even think it runs ads. So it doesn't generate revenue for them either. Put ads in the VODs. Do that. We don't have to see it. If anything, let's be honest here. If anything, I'm going to be a dick and I'm going to delete my VODs and make sure everything's uploaded to YouTube. If we're going to be if we're keeping it 100% here and you're going to monetize them and not hook me up with anything, I'm going to delete my VODs and I'm going to upload them to YouTube. But as a stopgap, why don't you do that? I still don't know why they're not monetized. Anyway, VODs usually run ads when you watch them. I've watched VODs and it never ran ads. I don't think we see any money from that. Yeah, we're talking about Switch stuff. They do put ads in as far as I remember. Yeah, I don't think anybody makes money from them. I'm not really sure. I always thought that we didn't. I was always under the impression, so maybe I'm wrong on that. I was always under the impression that the streamer does not see ad revenue. You get ads in VODs, but the streamer, I don't believe, generates revenue for that. Is generated revenue for them. Yeah, you only get ads. You only get money for ads when you're live. So yeah, so VOD ad revenue does not come to us. So just keep the ad revenue on the VODs. Just don't do it live. The whole point of streaming live and watching live is that you get to be there during the exciting moments. If you're telling me that you're going to run a random ad during any random moment, that's kind of crazy, right? Now, there is one more thing. That random ad situation will be disabled if you run an ad. If I run an ad right now, if I run a 60-second ad, if I run a 30-second ad for 10 minutes, you guys won't get ads. New people that stop into the stream won't get ads. I don't even believe they get the initial ad for popping in here, even though if they're not a subscriber. If I run a 60-second ad, it's 20 minutes. Extend that, because that will be a good idea. If I run a 60-second ad, this is hypothetical. I run a 60-second ad, and for an hour, Twitch can't run the randomized ads. What that's going to do to me is remind me, okay, every hour I need to run a 60-second ad, which realistically I could do. A lot of streamers do stuff like that. I try not to push the ad button too much, but that's not a bad idea to extend that time, and then that will entice me to run an ad every hour, because now not only am I doing it and I'm generating a little bit of revenue, I am also sort of protecting all of us from that dumb situation of we're doing something exciting. You know, when we finished Bug Fables, that was one of the most exciting endings I've ever had on this stream to a game. Bitey got the last bite, 1 HP. I was out of resources. I was near death, and Bitey with his 1 HP wins the fight. Imagine if an ad interrupted that. I would have been so sad. But if I know that a situation like that's coming up, a final boss, I could say, okay, everybody, hold on a second here. We're going to run an ad, and then for 60 minutes, we're going to be safe, so we're okay. It's not really a bad idea, because I know what they want to do. Somebody mentioned it earlier. Twitch is a part of Amazon now, or it was before. They want to generate more money because they're greedy, and that's the way they're going to do it, is they're going to run these random ads. So why don't, instead of running random ads, why don't you give us a reason to run more ads? So, you know, I'm not going to run 3-minute ads every time I go to the bathroom, but maybe I'll push that 30-second or 60-second button every once in a while. And you know what? How about a 15-second ad option? I wouldn't mind a 15-second ad option. I think that's a nice little buffer if we're transitioning from one section to another, especially when we do the silver lining. You know, if I want to transition from one story to another, I don't want to run a 60-second ad or even a 30-second one. But if you gave me 10 or 15-second ads, I can say, all right, let's move on to the next topic. Push the 15-second ad button, and then get the picture set up for the next part. As you announce the winner, and the winner of the giveaway is the Red Lobster. What? It's very viewer unfriendly in the amount of money streamers get from ads. Yeah, and that's the thing. For anybody, because that's one thing that I saw once was like, oh well, the streamers will get some of the ad revenue. Ad revenue is insignificant in the scheme of things when it comes to earning revenue on Twitch. When it comes to earning money on Twitch, if I hit the $100 threshold, there's a screen that breaks down where that revenue came from, where that $100 came from. So it shows you like how much of it came from Twitch Prime subs, how much of it came from regular subs, how much of it came from ads, etc. At $100, the ad revenue is like $1.50. It's like $1.50, $2. It's insignificant. You know, you guys can sub with a Twitch Prime sub that doesn't cost you anything other than the Amazon Prime account that you already have. And I make more on that one sub than my $100 of ad revenue, right? Like the $100, the ad revenue that I get for $100, I'll get more for one sub. For one Twitch Prime sub, which, by the way, if you have a Twitch Prime sub, feel free to use that. Sarah, I see streamers tell people to use ad blocker and counter mid-roll ads due to how little you make. Yeah, it's insignificant. It really is insignificant. It's very negligible. You have a ton of viewers. It's better. If we've got 40,000 subs, if we've got 40,000 viewers, and I push that ad button, I'm gonna do well. It's gonna do great. If I do that 5 days a week, you know, I push that button 3 times a day, that's fantastic. but we don't have big numbers here. We have great numbers. I love our numbers. I don't want to make it sound like this is a numbers game, but I love what I see when I come here and I turn the stream on and you guys stop in and we start having a conversation. I love it. But realistically, as far as ad revenue, it's irrelevant, basically. Ads are proven to push viewership away. Yeah, absolutely. You know what, Ryan? And this is true. This was true for television. This was very true for television. I'll tell you where it's extremely true. It is extremely true for radio. Ads are the opportunity for the person taking in that content to change the channel. That's what they are. People don't typically do it with streams. They're less likely to do it with streams because the ads tend to be shorter. But when you are listening to the radio and the ad break starts and it's going to be a 3 or 4 minute ad break, you change the station. Everybody does it. Nobody sits there and listens to the radio commercials. When the commercials come on television, you would change the channel. That's just always what would happen. You would look for something to entertain you while those ads were going on. Ads are when I check for other channels and Wario. There used to be a running gag about how when you would change the television channel because of the commercials, everything was on commercials. That would always be the joke. Like, oh my God, everybody's running commercials at the same time. Yes, they're running commercials at the same time because if you leave that program and go to another program that is on, you are more likely to stay at that program and not go back to the first one. So they all run ads at the same time. It's safer for them to do that. Radio stations don't do it as much, but because normally with a radio station, I'll be able to switch and find something else that has music on, but it does happen a lot. Which I barely listen to the radio now anyway. Sorry, radio, NPR folks. Yeah, it's great when the stations sync commercials. Look at YouTube, it pushes double ads, many times unskippable. I usually let them play because I know it supports the YouTuber, but two 50-second ads or 3-minute ads are hard to justify my time. Yeah, I mean, YouTube's got its own set of ad problems that I cannot stand. I really don't like YouTube's ad situation. But that's literally probably a whole different topic that we could do one day. Wait until ads are planted in the games. Shell Shock. I think that's the day I would become a 100% indie gamer / retro gamer. Is if you started somehow squeezing
your
ads
ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Kefka13, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. I do agree, but at the same time, Twitch is different because of the more personal attach. Yeah, exactly. Sliner, that's why I say that it's definitely more relevant on the other platforms. It's a little less relevant on Twitch. And part of it, Blaze, yeah, you can. Another reason that it's less of a problem on Twitch, in addition to the personal relationship that you're having with the streamer, is the fact that the ads are short. Television ad breaks are usually about 2 to 2.5 minutes long. Stream ads are 30 seconds to a minute. There are extended versions. There are versions of the stream ads that you can run that are 2 and 3 minutes long. I don't know any channels that run them, with the exception of channels that are meant for esports distribution. Channels that whatever channel is hosting the Fortnite tournaments, the Call of Duty tournaments, any League of Legends and stuff. Those are the only channels that I know of that run 2 and 3 minute ad breaks. Other than that, I don't know any personal streamers, like individual streamers, that run ads that long. So it's less of a problem. What I wish you could do is run personalized ads. I wish I had the ability on a list to say, I would like for the ads that my viewers to see be related to Elgato products, new games coming out for the Switch and the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. I don't think people coming here to listen to me talk about video games, to listen to us interact about video games, or to watch as we play retro games, or to watch as we play Mario Kart 8. I don't think anybody coming here cares about Bounty paper towels and Red Lobster, other than the biscuits. Like they are not ads that are related to what we do. Look, I do. I mean, yeah, you know what, Canadian. I say that, and at the same time, I think about it, and I think, damn, I do want some Red Lobster biscuits. But what about those ads for soap from? Yeah, like Manscaped ads. Like I get Manscaped ads. It's like, okay, I guess that's kind of relevant. I thought you meant like Stream Bounty for. No. There was like the Bounty paper towel commercial. Remember, they would run it, and then the people were supposed to be playing a game, but they were like the fakest people in the world. Whatever show comes on, instead of just going straight to the show after the intro's finished, cuts to more commercial. Yeah, no, that's something that used to happen a long time ago. That started a long time ago. I like Red Lobster, but it does not mean I want to see an ad related to the restaurant while I watch a stream and to see what. Yeah, exactly. It just doesn't. Yeah, and everybody knows the Bounty ad that I'm talking about. Everybody knows it because everybody hates it. Like, nobody thinks that commercial is genuinely funny. They are annoyed by it, which I haven't seen it in a little while, so I don't know if they even run it anymore. I think Bounty got named Casual here or something. It used to be Bears, now it's Koala. Casual? Because Bounty wasn't Bears here either. It was never Bears over here. Well, I mean, now I'm curious as the Squash soap smells. Now, is that okay? Squash soap, is Squash a brand name? Does it mean squash as in it smells like the vegetable, or is it soap that you wear while playing Squash the game, which I don't even think anybody knows of anymore? I remember bears in Bounty. Yeah, the only bears we have are the Charmin bears. We have the for the toilet paper. Where that's a weird ad campaign that started a long time ago. Raid Shadow Legends suddenly pop. Yeah, like imagine you're playing Raid Shadow Legends on a promoted stream, and then a random commercial plays for Raid Shadow Legends. But here's the thing: if the content is video game related, why can't the ads themselves be video game ads? Wouldn't that make it a little dose? It really would. That's why I just think that I just wish that. If you were going to do stuff like this, you should have a little bit more control over what kind of ads play during your stream. Because there may be stuff that I don't want to show. There may be products that I really don't care about, you know? And when adware became a thing, right? Hidden adware on our computer that would... I saw the link, Blaze Henry, but I don't click links during the stream. I apologize for that. So if you want to link it to me, on Twitter, if you want to tag me on Twitter with it, that would be very much appreciated. That way I'll remember to watch it later. I always check Twitter right after I'm done the show. Yeah, the Bounty ad. Oh my God, is that the Bounty ad? Oh God, I can't click it. Yeah, just posting it as still there. Okay, no problem. Yeah, it's there may be stuff that I don't want to show. Like when adware started interacting with our computers, and we would say, "Oh my God, why am I getting these ads? I did a search for soap, and now I'm getting banner ads for soap." As weird as it sounds, I don't hate that. I actually don't hate that. Let's be honest here. It's 47 viewers right now. Maybe 2 of us would care if they saw a boating commercial, right? Like a commercial came up for boat engines. For the vast majority of us, that is unrelatable information. No one would care if it was like, check out fisherman boats, boat motors. Like, we would sit here and think, why the hell am I seeing a commercial for boating? I've never talked about boating. I've never searched for boating in my life. Targeted ads make sure you don't get that sort of thing. You know, it makes more sense, and it's a little bit easier for me to swallow when I am searching for new kitchenware. I'm searching for new pots and pans or something like that, and I'm getting ads for pots and pans. That makes perfect sense. So I don't mind the idea of targeted ads. It's the randomness of them. I don't hate ads in general. I don't hate that ads play at the beginning of the stream. that you sub and that gets rid of those ads. I like them. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think that it from a business standpoint, it helps keep everybody going to have ad revenue somewhere. But the randomness of it is the problem. I usually get my guitar. Yeah, you get guitar ads, Switch ads, stuff like that. And you could sit there and be upset that you're getting ads, but at least the ads are related to what you like. They're related to your interests. So that's a good thing. I do love water. Twitch brand water. It's wet. But yeah. I block out. Yeah, right. Like, and Ryan, that's sort of the thing that gets me the most when people. And this is like an individual. I wouldn't mind random ads popping over and taking over the chat every now and then. The chat is less important than the stream being taken over. Oh, you Blaze. That's not a bad idea either, Blaze. You're talking about like a banner ad that is in the chat, like an image that pops up for an ad. And it happens every 20 minutes or so. That's not actually a bad idea. I will take that. I will take that over stopping my stream. A Canadian Dragon, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub in the hunt. Fantastic. Very much appreciate that. I almost did the follow thing. In the hunt with a tier 1 sub. Thank you so much, Canadian Dragon. I very much appreciate that. And thank you. Alcoholic beverages ads pop up, and I'm sober Twitch. Yeah, like Bud Light ads. I'm getting a lot of Bud Light ads for some reason. I have no idea why. In the Hunt is fun, by the way. In the Hunt's that's a good game. Put the ad in small picture. Yeah, you know what? But honestly, I don't mind it being in the chat. Take up like 6 lines of space and put an in-chat banner ad that drops that's not really a banner ad, but an in-chat ad every 20 minutes. And again, make it related to topics that I'm bringing up. Make it so that I'm talking about the PS5 and a PS5 ad shows up. That's not bad. I mean, my phone is already listening to my conversation anyway, so I'm going to get a whole bunch of ads. About all kinds of crazy things. I promise you, within the next day, I'm going to get an ad for boats. Why is there an image for Raid Shadow Legends? The chat really isn't important, but it's important to me, Blaze. It is important to me because I do, I love interacting with all of you, and I need the chat to be there. But I know what you mean. I know what you mean as far as the chat is important, but the chat is not as important as the stream. And if you interrupt the chat and you're not even interrupting the chat, you're just throwing something extra in there. But if you do that as opposed to shrinking the stream down, that's not a good idea. It really isn't. I'll tell you what will be better. What would work better for me is even if you shrunk the stream down to a smaller size and then left that audio on, left the stream audio and showed a non-audio ad for a product. It would be annoying as hell, but at least we'll still hear the stream. At least we'll still see what's going on, and it won't be a tiny corner of the screen. You know who does that? Is a weird comparison. I don't know if anybody else is familiar with this. I used to watch Formula One racing on ABC, and it was always like Saturdays and Sundays. They would show Formula One racing, and that's what they did. They would call a side-by-side. We're going side-by-side with Bounty. And then what they would do is they would shrink the screen down so you could still see the race. And then as an equal-sized screen, they would run a commercial. So you would see the race, but hear the commercial. Do the same exact thing, only let me see the stream. And let me hear the stream, and let me just see a commercial. I don't know. It's all kind of spitballing at this point. But the reality is, it's just there's got to be a better way to do it. There really has to be a better way to do it. Yeah, they sort of do that with credits for TV. The credits shrink down and they run an ad while they get the credits rolling, and then the next show is about to start. We don't have ads like I would love to see what the ad situation is over in the UK because we have it's all ads here. It's all ads here. I think once a new video starts, Greg, it would stop the stream audio. Yeah, probably. I mean, TV isn't really a good example since we moved on. Well, you know what, Ryan? TV is probably the best example we can use because cable shows don't have ads in the middle. So what we're looking for is how do you put ads in the middle of a program? And TV is the only way you do that because cable shows don't have ads. Netflix and streaming services don't have ads in the middle, with the exception of like if you don't pay for it, like Hulu. I think you can watch a lot of programs without paying for Hulu, but you're going to get a bunch of ads. But then the shows aren't, and that's another big thing. The shows on television are designed with ad breaks in them. They are designed with cliffhanger moments that fade to black. So then it cuts, it goes into a commercial, and then the show comes back into the show. It comes out of the commercial and back into the show. Other programs are not designed for that. Streaming services and whatnot, they're not designed for that. They just sort of stop. Anybody who's watched Crunchyroll knows, without a subscription, knows it just drops an ad in the middle of the show because the show is not designed for breaks usually. I think part of it is advertising is still pretty old school in the modern age. Yeah, it really kind of is. And that's why Dragon. That's why we're talking about television as ads, because it's still kind of old school. When it comes to F1 racing, they show you the whole race in the UK, no ad. Yeah, they do ads here. Anime has ads. They get one commercial in the middle. Crunchyroll. Ryan, I maybe it's been a while since you watched it. I know you used to be able to. I don't know if you can anymore. There's an ad all the time. There's an ad. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating in what I'm about to say. For all the anime fans, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you used to watch Crunchyroll without a subscription, when you started the episode, there was an ad. There was the part of the show that sometimes plays right before the intro, or it went right to the intro, and then there was an ad. There was an ad probably about 5-10 minutes in, 5 to 8 minutes in. There were 3 ad breaks, 2 ad breaks during the show, one as the show ended. The episode would get to the end, an ad break would start. The credits would roll, another ad would roll, then it would switch to the next episode, and you would start with an ad, and the whole system would start all over again. It would in one show, you were watching roughly 6 to 7 ad breaks while you were watching the show. It is insane, but that is a pay service, so it's understandable that if you want to use it without pay, you have to endure that sort of thing. Streaming is a technically free service that we like to do. It's a free entertainment venue that we provide, that you are able to watch and consume. But part of the consuming is that you do it live. Do it live. I mean, I paid for CR, but yeah, I've heard the story. Yeah, and also ad block. Yeah. I just try not to promote ad block because I know that if you have ad block, it also works on YouTube, and that's where YouTube is where ad revenue is real. So I try not to promote that sort of stuff, but it gets to the point where it feels like they're not giving you a choice, right? It kind of does. But yeah, that's Twitch's new adpocalypse. So hopefully, they get it all sorted out. But we're going to move on from that because we're sort of rocking and rolling here, and that topic lasted longer than I was expecting. The 3DS, everybody, the 3DS they have officially announced that they are halting all production of the 3DS. And it's sad. It's sad. It's sad, and at the same time, it's been kind of dead for a while, right? This to me is sad. It is a great system, but and this is going to be harsh, but I think we've all experienced it at least once. The older you are, the more you've experienced it. Have you ever heard on the news that a celebrity died and your first thought was, oh my God, didn't they die already? I didn't know that they were still alive. That's kind of what this is, right? This is kind of like they're halting production on the 3DS, and it's kind of like, God, they were still making it? Like they were still manufacturing systems? Wait, did Twitch just give you an ad, Mendez? 3DS gets to retire after carrying Nintendo through some rough years. Yeah. Yeah, so but it all in all, it was a fantastic system, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the 3DS itself, and what were your experiences with it? My experience was I did not get the 3DS early on. I did not adopt it. It was $250. It was a bit overpriced for what it was. It was a great system. But early on, it just wasn't worth that gigantic price tag, and they caught a lot of flack for it. So they eventually lowered the price. I think it was down to $170. I want to say it was $169.99 when they finally decided to drop the price. I don't think it was $200. I'm if somebody can clarify that for me, I'm almost positive that they dropped it down to $170 when they first finally dropped it. Price by $80. Yeah. And then what they did was, if you bought it at the original price, they started some sort of ambassador program where you got a few extra games that ended up never coming out. They never got re-released on the 3DS. One of which made me very sad, which was the Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. So if you have a 3DS, a few of the 3DS games did, but that's it. Yeah, wasn't it also like Minish Cap? I thought Minish Cap was a game that came out. Unqualified Gamer, if you're still here, Unqualified Gamer, I know actually has a 3DS that has the ambassador program on it. Yeah, a bunch of GBA games exclusively and a bunch of free VC games. That's it. Yeah, Wario Land 4 was on it too, but never got to. Yeah, none of them ever did. I don't think Minish Cap ever came to the eShop. I think that was always, if you had it on your system, it was from the ambassador program. So it had a bit of a rocky start, and because of that, I never really bought it. I still have my 3DS. I have actually, this is not the same one, but this is not a picture of mine, but it is the one that I have. It is the teal 3DS. I got my 3DS when I was sitting at home, and I got a phone call from a friend of mine named Pedro, and he called me up and said, "Hey man, what's going on?" So I said nothing. He knew that Animal Crossing was already out on the 3DS, and he knew that I loved Animal Crossing. So he called me up and he asked me, I vote for him. He called me up and he asked me if I had gotten Animal Crossing yet. So I said, no, I didn't get it. I don't have a 3DS. It was just too much money, and there wasn't really anything I was looking for. I was gonna get it eventually, but just not yet. So he goes, where are you right now? So I said, I'm at home. She goes, all right, just stay there. So, okay. So I would say an hour later, he beeps the horn and he's outside. Sorry, I'm getting a little worked up here. He beeps the horn and he's outside. And I get up and I figured it was him. So I go outside and I guess he was in a hurry. So he's like, hey man, happy birthday. So he hands me a brand new 3DS, this one here, the teal one here, and a copy of Animal Crossing. And he gets in his car and he drives away. And I'm like, thanks. So I come inside and Beth's here and she's like, oh, what's going on? And I'm like, that was Pedro. She's like, oh, what did he say? It's like, he gave me a 3DS and Animal Crossing. She's like, what? So that's how I got my 3DS. And that was my 3DS for a long time. That's actually, I still have it now. Pedro passed away some years ago, so I will never get rid of that 3DS. But yeah, so that was my experience. So right off the bat, my first experience with the 3DS was like sort of like a touching moment. And then From there, I didn't really get a whole lot because I played a ton of New Leaf. Man, I played the hell out of New Leaf. So I didn't really get a whole lot of stuff, and then I still had my my 3DS, my regular DS games. I was still playing those. Obviously, I still played them. So that was my system for a while. I strayed away from it, back and forth. Like I would go in and out based on what games were out. I think I got away from it more than anything when the Switch came out. Wait, hey buddy. When the Switch came out, I had trouble going back to the 3DS because the screens were so small. So I had figured, okay, eventually I'm going to get the XL, because then the new 3DS came out and I wasn't going to get that because it was bigger screens, but it was more money that I didn't need to put out. And there were only like 2 or 3 games that actually needed the new 3DS. So I wasn't really too concerned with it. 2 years ago, maybe, I want to say 2 years ago at Too Many Games, I finally picked up a new 3DS XL, which was the Galaxy one. Do I have it here? No, it's actually in my bag. Yeah, it does help some things. It does help like loading times and stuff, but I didn't really care about that stuff. But that wasn't really too much of an issue for me. Xenoblade 3D. No, well, hold on. Xenoblade 3D, didn't Majora's Mask, did it need it or did it just benefit from it? Hold on. No, okay. I guess it just benefited from it. Yeah. It didn't require it. Okay. Yeah, so Xenoblade Chronicles or Xenoblade 3D, which I have never played a Xenoblade game, is the only game that absolutely needed it. So all I really needed was a bigger, like a larger system. But eventually I got the Galaxy 3DS, which I was happy because that's the one that I actually wanted. Yeah, Majora's not benefited, but I can play it on my base 3DS. There was one other only new 3DS game. Yeah, I remember there being another game that was like you needed the new 3DS, and I feel like I'm going crazy. Fire Emblem Warriors, Minecraft, and Super Meat Boy. I don't know. Majora's Mask one's better, but you could use a little nub for the camera. Yeah, I think Codename Steam did that. I think Codename Steam took use of the camera, the little C button, as they call it, which is like the weirdest button in the world. It was Fire Emblem Warriors. Fire Emblem Warriors. Okay, so you need a new 3DS to play Fire Emblem Warriors. I knew there was at least one more, and I knew that it was something that I wasn't going to care about. Yeah, Elements. That's exactly what it is. The C button camera thingy is the Dell laptop nub. Does everybody know what I'm talking about? I hope everybody knows what I'm talking about, and at the same time, I'm jealous of you if you don't. The Dell laptops in the middle of the keys. I can't. Hold on. I think I can. Here we go. Yeah. In I forget where it was in the keys. You would have this little nub that was there, and the nub was like your cursor. That was like your mouse pad. You would move that, and that's how you would move the cursor around. And it was so stupid. I appreciate the attempt, but it really was kind of dumb. And that's what the nub on the new 3DS feels like. It was like a joystick without the stick. Yeah. It really was like a rubber stopper. Like when you push, that's exactly what it felt like. If you've ever taken a controller apart, there's like the plastic, there's the plastic cross pad, right? For this here, there's the cross pad, and then the cross pad touches a rubber sort of grommet, I would say. It's like a rubber pad, and then the pad would touch the board. And that would register the input. That's how the controllers work. Imagine taking this off and just having the rubber part that touches the board. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh my God, I never put that together. Yeah, it's so weird. It's so strange. But it worked. It did its job. The nipple mouse. Oh boy. And yeah, and so the system itself was a great piece of hardware. With one exception, I think that there's one exception here. It is novel. It's cute. We turned it on. We looked at it and we said, "Oh, that's kind of cool." And then we turned it right off. Am I the only one that didn't use the 3D feature whatsoever? That slider stayed down. That slider didn't move for me. And yes, the new 3DS does better eye tracking, so it adjusts the 3D better to where you're looking and it makes it more reliable. But damn it, it just felt useless. It was such a gimmick that thankfully we were able to turn off. The 3DS would have died a sad, fast death if you could not turn that 3D off. Some games look better. Gorilla, you're going to have to help me out here, Gorilla. What games looked better with the 3D on? With one exception, I did think that Link Between Worlds looked kind of cool because you had the switching layers and the bottom layer looked further away. But I still didn't play it with the 3D on. I put it on, I looked at it, it looked kind of cool, I turned it off. What was more pointless, the 3DS nipple stick or the 2DS? I would say the 2DS was more pointless. The 2DS was more pointless because the nipple stick was weird, but it worked. It did what it was supposed to do, and it functioned well. It was just odd to use. Yeah, that slider stayed off, man. And then of course, thank you for bringing it up, Chaos Alex. The 2DS eventually came out, which was I didn't like the 2DS at first because the 2DS when that came out at first, which I do need one for my collection, was a flat piece of hardware that didn't fold. That was the big thing with the, there was the clamshell design that it opened and closed, which was to help protect the screens. The 2DS did not have that. It was $100 when it first came out, and it was marketed towards kids because kids would break the one that opened and closed. So that was marketed towards them. It was supposed to be more durable. I know that there were like Nerf things that you like skins that you would wrap it in to protect it better. It was a great little system. Eventually they introduced the 2DS that folds. There was the clamshell 2DS. I actually wanted one of those too because they came in really cool colors and it was a larger system that closed. That I like the protection aspect of it. I like the size aspect of it. Dream Team was the best 3DS game. All right, hold on. Yeah, I want to how Kid Icarus looked with it. Ooh, interesting. I want to eventually get a new 3DS. Yeah, I mean, I got a new 3DS just because it's the Galaxy one and it's the 3DS XL. It was such a joke at the beginning, but it became more probable as time went on. 3D Land and Uprising were a bit functional with it. Dream Team was but Dream Team is one that I didn't play. If your kid is young enough to really be a hazard to a basic as Hinge, then you're probably not mature enough to have their own game. Oh, Ryan, you brought up another point. You reminded me of another point. The 2DS, one of the selling points of the 2DS was that looking at stereoscopic 3D for too long is actually bad for your eyes, and they didn't want kids doing that. So they started to sell a system that did not have the 3D feature on it. That was one of the reasons they did the 2DS. That was another reason they did it. How weird is that? I don't know. That just feels weird to me. I need to get a new 3DS before I think that there's plenty of 3DSs everywhere. I think that on the new and used market, I think you'd be able to get one for a while. Yeah, it was just a cheaper model, and that was I would like to get handhelds are weird. Handhelds are very strange in the sense that we know we don't need a bunch of them. But damn it, if I don't want every version of the DS that came out, right? The only thing I'm missing now is I don't have the DSi. Either of the DSi or the DSi XL. I don't have either one of those. And then there's a lot of the 3DSs that I don't have. we're like that, man. We're I don't know. We're gamers, but we're also collectors. And damn it, if we like having that stuff. I sold my DSi. No surprise there. You can still buy GBAs. I don't think the 3DS would be. Yeah, exactly, Mendez. As far as searching for them, you can find GBAs everywhere. 3DSs are not going to be a problem. The problem I think would be if you're looking for a specific 3DS. I loved the Super Nintendo themed 3DS. Very expensive to find. The Majora's Mask 3DS looks cool. Very expensive. I had the OG Teal 3DS XL and 2DS XL and the DSi and DS Lite. Yeah, I have to go through all of my handhelds are upstairs. I have like the classic Game Boy Pocket, Game Boy Color, GBA, the old school one, the GBA SP. I don't have an SP 101. I would really like to get a 101. I have the original DS, the real big DS. I have the DS Lite. I don't have either of the DSi's. This version 3DS and the 3DS XL, that's the Galaxy one. That's all I have. And I don't have a Game Boy Micro. I don't have a GBA Micro. I never wanted the GBA Micro. I want to at least be able to play them, and I can't play the Micro. The Micro is like, cool. I'm playing video games. It would be like when we were playing the Cubert, the mini arcade Cubert game. It's a cute novelty, but I can't play that for too long. Like those what was the Game Gear? Did they even come out? Remember those 4 Game Gears that were supposed to come out with games on them? Did they even actually come out? Look, GG. I don't think I've ever seen the original DS in person. I've only seen it advertised on magazines. The original DS was great for one reason and one reason only. It was a nice system. It was good when they came out, but when the other versions came out, it was fine to get rid of. The original DS was great because the bottom half was the best Game Boy Advance ever. It really kind of was. If you've got an OG DS and the top half is broken, remove it and keep it, because the bottom half works as a Game Boy Advance and it's great. It's a great Game Boy Advance. Hey, Ben. I have an AGS 101, and boy, is it fragile. The shell broke being in my backpack, really. And the screen does have some smearing in games like, oh my god. My Life in Gaming just did a great video on modern display solutions for the system. Yeah, Ben, if I'm gonna put a modern display in anything, I have the original GBA, the wide one. I have the pink one, the translucent pink one. I would put a new screen in that. The original GBA with a better screen is probably my favorite version of the GBA. We're about to have a sleepover at this rate. I love that you could collide. What? Cold? I don't know. Play? I don't know. You could play GBA. Oh, there we go. I think that's what it is. You could play GBA on DS. Yeah, that, Nintendo's hallmark. One of Nintendo's hallmarks for a bunch of generations was you being able to play the last generation. Can you replace the screen in a DS? I don't know. That I don't know. A lot of modders replace the halogen light in the Game Gear with LEDs, and the battery life shoots up. I wouldn't mind doing that. I need a Game Gear. I don't have a Game Gear. The last time I tried to buy one, it was broken, so I took it back to the guy, and he gave my money back, so I was fine with that. Gibby got an OG GBA that had a screen swap for an AGS 101 screen. I want one. I would like to get one. I've always wanted to get the kit and then do it on stream. Where I swap everything out. So we'll see what happens. Maybe that's something for later. And then obviously you can't talk about the 3DS without talking about the games. I mean, some of the games were what a life that system had, right? Just unbelievable. Animal Crossing New Leaf was my first game on the system, and I want to say I at least have 300 hours on it. Kid Icarus was a terrific game that I never unfortunately got to play. I would love to get a copy of that, but every time I find it, it's either incomplete, like it doesn't have the stand, or it's just too expensive. So I would like to get a copy of that. Smash 4. Smash 4 was... I always say that Smash 4 on the Wii U was my first Smash game. Technically, it is Smash 4 on the 3DS, because I did have that one. And I was one of the people that got approved to have the demo like a few weeks before the game came out. So I was at a convention and I was waiting in line and I was playing it. And there were guys in front of me and they heard. And the one guy turns around, like I can see him kind of peeking glances. And the one guy turns around and he goes, "I'm sorry, excuse me. Are you playing Smash Brothers?" And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "Can I play it?" so I handed him my 3DS and I let him get a couple runs in. And then he was going to give it back to me and he had his friend with him. So I was like, he can play if he wants, if you want to give him a few rounds. So they got to play a few rounds of it. They were like super stoked to be able to try it out. Yeah, that was my first Smash game that I really played. Portable Smash Bros. Flip. Zelda 3D remakes, which I have and never played. I never played either one of them. Yeah, the Zelda 64 remake. Samus Returns, terrific game that I kind of hope comes to the Switch. Fingers crossed. Devil Survivor Overclock, Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Awakening was my first Fire Emblem game ever. Rune Factory 4, Bravely Default. Bravely Default is hit or miss. Pokemon Soul Silver was the furthest I ever made it to on the Pokedex. Made it to like 350, but I can't find it. At least a Latino wizard that came to my house last year brought me a copy. Oh, that's right, I did bring you a copy, or somebody I know brought you a copy of Heart Gold. Wherever he may be, I hope his hair's looking beautiful. Tales of the Abyss. I have where is it? I still have it, right? I have Tales of the Abyss sealed. I got it for like $3 from the Goodwill store, sealed, and I can't bring myself to open it and play it. So I'll try and buy another copy of it that's open so I can play it. Leave it be. That is a game I just can't play on handheld. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe and this was my issue with this 3DS, is that eventually I got to a point where the screens were just too small for me. And now, especially that I have the 3DS XL, the new one, I can't go back to the small one. It's just too small for me. I listen, I can't help it. I'm a size king. What can I say, right? But yeah. What are some of your? I know you've already been sharing them. What are some of your favorite? I see Planet Robobot, Pokemon X, Omega Ruby, Sun. I have Omega Ruby, actually. I think I have an Alpha Sapphire now too. Luigi's Mansion 2. What was that? Dark Moon or something, right? Star Fox 3D 64 3D best Star Fox game. I gotta play it, right? Do I have it? No, I don't have it, but I gotta play it. You gave me I did give you an Omega Ruby. Yeah, I did give you an Omega Ruby. Oh, you know what happened, Ben? I had a windfall at the Goodwill store, and that was why I had so many free Pokemon games. Mario Luigi Dream Team, Fire Emblem Awakening are my favorites. One game that holds a special place in my heart is a title in Japan, Super Robot Wars. Project Cross Zone. I know of Project Cross. I know of it. Made some good friends because of it. Sequel is way better though. Yeah, can't go back to the small screen. Luigi's Mansion 2 over here. Link Between Worlds was terrific. Link Between Worlds, I'm going to go off on another tangent, so I apologize. Link Between Worlds, I had prepaid, and I was sitting there. It was the night before it was going to come out. It was coming out the next day. And Link Between Worlds was coming out on the same day as the Xbox One. So I was looking stuff up online, and I remember I was sitting there. It was like 10 o'clock at night, and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, God, I kind of wish I could get it. Because then tomorrow, I really want to play this game, but then tomorrow I've got to go to work, and then I've got to go pick it up, and it's just such a hassle. And the GameStop that I had pre-ordered Link Between Worlds was opening at midnight for the Xbox. They were going to open at midnight for Xbox One's release. So I called them up and I said, you're going to be opening up at midnight, correct? Yes. Am I allowed to get other stuff? I have a game that I prepaid. Am I allowed to pick that up, or am I only allowed to come there for Xbox stuff? And no. If you have something prepaid, like, we don't want people walking around the shop, but if you have something prepaid, you can come pick it up. It doesn't matter. So I was like, okay. Like 11:30 at night, I had to work the next day. And like 11:30 at night, I got in my car, drove the 5 or 6 miles away to wherever it was to pick up my game. Came home. It was like 12:30 by the time I got home, and then was up for another hour playing Link Between Worlds. And it was so good. It's such a good game. That's a game that I would not mind. It might be a little tricky. I would not mind if they put that on the Switch. I would like for them to put that game on the Switch. It's a great game. Project X Zone 2, the game where John McClane, Sagata, Sanshiro, and Zero can team up. What a weird game, Ryan. And who would have thought that years later Smash Brothers got even weirder? 2013 had so many great 3DS games. Christmas 2013 was a good Christmas. Zelda Wind Waker, Link Between Worlds, Mario 3D World, Professor Layton and the Miracle Man. I never played the Professor Layton games. Alpha Sapphire, Mario 3D Land. Oh yeah, it's so great, right? Hold on, let me scroll up here. See, Dragon Quest 8 on the 3DS is a good one. I actually just recently got that in a very large RPG purchase that I made. I have tons of memories of the 3DS. I met way too many friends as part of the big 3DS. Oh my god, you're shell shocked. How look, a 3D Land, Monster Hunter 4, Flipnote Studio 3D, of course. How can we not? No, you're forgetting the best game, Nintendogs plus Cats. No, Mr. L. The best 3DS game was Street Pass. Absolutely. What a weird sort of throwaway feature that caught on like we've never seen before. It's so addicting to, you see that green light and you're like, oh boy, I got another puzzle piece. Let's go. It just, I don't know. There was something about it that was so, it felt like we were part of something, right? Like when you're out and about, and you if you're like me, most of my shirts, most of my blouses are t-shirts, and they've got graphic designs on them, right? They've got nerdy designs on them and stuff like that. It's easy to tell that I am a nerd or a geek. I literally have a shirt that says geek on it. Like, it's very easy to tell. When you go out somewhere and you see another person wearing a t-shirt for a franchise that you really like, even if it's just like a Nintendo shirt or something, but when you go out, we got Metroid fans here. When you go out in public and you happen to see another person that has a Metroid shirt on, you're like, oh man, there it goes. Could it be that this is one of my people? Right? You see that and you kind of think that. When you would see that Street Pass light, for me, that's what that was. For me, it was like, one of my people is nearby. So it was like, I don't know, there was this weird sort of camaraderie with the Street Pass that made it so much fun. And I really enjoyed it. Like, I would have it on at work, and what I would do, because I would get a lot of trains that go by, I would leave my system on sleep so that I could get Street Passes, and I would leave it near the window. Trains would go by, and then I would look, and I would have a Street Pass. And that's what it meant. It meant somebody on the train had the Street Pass, so when the train pulled up and stopped and then left, I got the Street Pass from them. The first year that I went to MagFest, yeah, Mendez, I was just going to bring that up. The first year that I went to MagFest, hundreds. It got to the point where I was bored looking at my street pass because every time I opened up my system, there were like 50. It was constantly. And then while I was looking at them, more of them were showing up. It was so crazy, but it was so much fun. There was just something weird about it. Then there was that music, that little music that would play, and it was not as iconic as the Wii shop music, but it was still a iconic little ditty that would play during the 3DS Street Pass time. Everyone's fave game, Metro. Yeah, there were some downsides, Mr. L. Metroid Prime Federation Force was not a bad game. It was just very poorly timed, very poorly announced game. And I will stick to that. I will die on that hill. I honestly don't have the most expensive library on my 3DS. By the time I purchased one back in 2016, in my head, I was essentially like, finally, I can actually do something in the car when my mom is inside the store. It's got a great library of games. It really does. I would love to dip more into the 3DS library. One of the most poorly timed games ever. Yeah, poor Federation Force, man. Poor Federation Force. I'll be honest, I didn't finish it. I actually didn't finish it. I will admit of right up front that I did not finish it, but I did play it and I bought it day one. Triforce Heroes was the most disappointing Zelda. Yeah, Triforce Heroes, I have that too. And that's Triforce Heroes. If anybody's looking for a Triforce Heroes, if you've got a store near you called Five Below, get yourself in your car or get on the bus or go for a walk and head on down to Five Below, where you can usually pick up a copy of Triforce Heroes, a copy of Yokai Watch, and a whole stack of amiibos, because when they announced Animal Crossing for the Switch, I had this weird desire to collect all the amiibos, got in my car, drove to Five Below, and came back with almost every Animal Crossing amiibo that was released, with the exception of about 3 of them, for $5 a piece. Did you play Codename Steam? I did not go through it, Gorilla, but I did play it. That is a game that I would like to see hit the eShop. I would like for that game to get another chance, because I thought Codename Steam was actually really interesting. It was really fun and really quirky and really goofy and really kind of interesting. But you know, I don't know. I feel like they were trying to make a push for it, and then when it came out, they just sort of left it. But I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fine game. For $5, it's a terrific game. Five Below should be called 10 Below. Do you think so, Ben? All my Five Belows, I have like 2 Five Belows near me, and they're pretty strict on the $5 and below thing. Triforce Heroes gave us the first cross-trade. I think so, maybe. I think. I mean, he did turn into a literal fairy in one game. Yeah, it's actually a good place to find amiibo. I still haven't played any more than an hour of it. I found a Lucas amiibo there for $5. Yeah, they usually have some Lucas amiibos. It's weird. Tactical style games skew older, so they tend to like more serious story. Yeah, like Valkyria Chronicles and stuff like that. So yeah, so you got this quirky, for anybody that didn't play Codename Steam, it was this quirky kind of take on American history, where I don't remember if you played as John Henry, but I know at one point there was like an airship that busted through the ceiling, and it was piloted by Abraham Lincoln, and he was rescuing you. So it was this weird kind of thing, but it was hilarious. It was so great. I do want to go through and play more of it. There's a DD's discount near me where I bought an Incineroar amiibo. Ooh. Oh, yeah, so this genre that skews older, but it presented as some quirky Saturday morning cartoon trying to aim itself as kids. Yeah, and Ryan, and I think that it was just kind of all over the place, and that's why it didn't hit very well. I think if they put it on Switch, I think it would hit a lot better. I never got an Ike Amiibo. I've been waiting to play an Ike Amiibo to play Codename Steam. Flip myself. Oh God, Rye and Flipnote are going back and forth about Among Us. That's what it's called, right? Among Us. I gotta play it someday. Maybe this weekend I'll sit down and we'll actually try some Among Us because everybody seems to love this game. Look, Uncle, don't look. Among Us is great. I saw the artwork and somebody did a comic where it's like one of us is the imposter and it's all the Among Us people, but then there's a Fall Guys character and the Fall Guys character is like, I think it was Red. I think Red's the imposter, and then they throw out Red. I'm kind of sus. Oh boy. That's the only reason I know about Codename Steam is that they included the Fire Emblem characters that you needed. Oh, okay. That's why everybody's saying that they wanted Ike for Codename Steam. I got Breath of the Wild Zelda amiibos this week. Ooh. Oh, did you see that, Sondox? That's funny. I thought that was a nice gag. Yeah, I haven't even watched Among Us streams just because I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. Like, I feel like I'm supposed to not watch the streams so that when I play it, it's a more new experience for me. I don't know. My more favorite one is the two space guys. And wait, it's just Werewolf? Always has been. I have to watch them apparently. How much is that game? How much is Among Us? Is that a free to play game or is that am I gonna have to pay money for that? Because I don't want to have to pay money for it. Among Us gets better the more you know. Oh, it's $5. Is Fall Guys? I think Fall Guys is great. But it burns itself out. It does burn itself out. Fall Guys is great if you can get it for less than $20. I didn't pay anything for it because I got it on the PlayStation 4 when it was still free, so it was fantastic. Fall Guys for $20 is probably a little too much right now. Oh, and there's crossplay. It's free on mobile, $5 on Steam. I would probably buy it on Steam, Wario, just because it would be easier to stream if I have it on Steam. It's easier to stream when you have it on Steam. My favorite game in the 3DS was YouTube Player. yeah, but the 3DS, before we skew into Among Us, the 3DS, we loved you, 3DS. We're gonna get a little somber here. Get a little somber. The 3DS, we loved you. You had a great run. Some people accused you of taking too much attention away from the Switch. I question whether or not you should have gone away a little bit before, maybe a year or two before. But here we are, officially at the end of the 3DS's life cycle. There will probably be a few more games that come out on the system. We don't know. But rest in peace, 3DS. F's in the chat. Give me a no. Don't give me an F. Don't give me an F. Give me a DS in the chat for the passing of a legend, really. DS. Do I have sad music? I don't have sad music. Yeah.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs!
Oh, DS, we loved you.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Vogue the Legend, thanks so much for the follow. Very much appreciate that. We're the sad violin. No, what I wanted is the Incredible Hulk sad walking away music. I should have had that ready to go. Yeah, Amazing Grace, but it's bit tunes. It's like a chip tunes version. Okay, it's time to get to some of the meaty ones. I told you, everybody, we were running long today, so be ready for it. Oh yeah, you got it. You got the Hulk music on your soundboard. Yeah, I don't have it on my soundboard. I really need that. In the arms of an angel. For our next topic, this is one of the big ones for today. Nintendo did a partner direct mini. It was a 15, 16-minute presentation that talked about non-first party games coming to the system. And I gotta be honest with you, as far as partner directs go, this was probably the single best one they have ever done. The partner showcases and the indie directs, unfortunately, the reality is a lot of people don't really get too hyped for them. A lot of the time, it feels like a lot of stuff that we don't want to play. We don't feel like we get news on some of the bigger titles. As a result, we normally go into these with a little bit of a lowered expectation. We usually don't think we're going to see a lot of major things here. And it's probably not fair. It's not really fair to those developers. But a reality is a reality, and that's the truth. So this partner showcase was announced, I think, like 2 days before it actually happened, right? This was not like a long-term thing. We didn't know this was coming. This was announced because what was it, a Thursday? And then it was announced like Tuesday, right? So we got it. So it was a quick turnaround on it. Yeah, and it was like 3 a.m. that we got an announcement that it was happening. Well, 3 a.m. for us, that makes it like 4 p.m. for Japan, which makes perfect sense. You know, not everything goes by the United States Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, it's like the 15th or the 16th. I think it was the 15th for us. I think it was the 16th for, I don't know how it works. Oh boy, 3 a.m. Yeah, I'm glad they announced it though. This was a problem that we talked about before. We talked about this with the Mario Direct where, I think it was the Mario Direct that we talked about, where they are just dropping these announcements. So we don't have a chance to prepare for them, especially as streamers. So it was nice that they gave us a heads up that there was going to be an event. I was very appreciative of that. But for the most part, we went into it thinking, all right, probably not going to be a whole lot going on. So they start. And the first thing that pops up is Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter Rise for the Switch, coming out March 26, 2021. Now, Monster Hunter is, I would argue, in the US, that it's still relatively niche. There are the people who absolutely love Monster Hunter. And then there are people who are not really familiar with it. There doesn't seem to be a ton of middle ground. It's kind of like Persona, right? There's before Persona 5 especially, if you knew about Persona, you probably really, really loved it. And if you didn't really, really love it, you probably didn't know about Persona. So Monster Hunter was still relatively niche over here. Apparently it's very large in Japan. So right off the bat, you're talking about a system seller. This is the kind of game that people will go out and buy a Switch for. And Switches in Japan are actually already very difficult to come by. In order to buy a Switch in Japan, as is my understanding, when you go to a retailer, there's some sort of lottery that you have to get drawings. You have to have yourself drawn in order to be able to buy a system because they're in short supply right now. This is not, Stealth was talking about that. This is not going to help the situation at all. Hawk, you say it was past niche? You think it was past niche already? Yeah, Monster Hunter World's success might help it in the West. Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah, Mr. L. Monster Hunter World especially has definitely blown up, but the franchise as a whole is still passing niche. I'll give it to Hawk Goggles and say that it is past niche and it is getting more to a little bit more known. But in Japan, it's gigantic. So right off the bat, we're starting with a massive game, Monster Hunter Rise. Looks good. They go through it. We don't know a whole lot about it yet. I'm only familiar with Monster Hunter World, the first part of it. I never picked up Iceborne. I would like to pick up Iceborne and get back into Monster Hunter a little bit, but right now I'm playing Final Fantasy 14. So, looks okay. The next game is Monster Hunter Stories 2. I don't know how popular Stories was. I don't know how big that was or how much of a seller it was. It is very different looking. It is a very anime style visually. So it is a different game, apparently both in feel, but also in looks. Japan loves stories. By the time we got it, it was late in the 3DS lifespan. What does it Twitch random ads in the title? Does it? I mean, it should. We were talking about that. That's part of the title. Yeah, Story has an anime adaptation, so it would say it's fairly popular. 4 Capcom games were announced. Stories has an avid cult following. Currently, world's final title update coming October 1st. All right. It's turn-based RPG. That's a turn-based RPG. Ooh, I might actually like Monster Hunter Stories a lot more than if it's a turn-based RPG. So that's coming summer 2021. So you've got next year, March 26th, you've got Monster Hunter Rise. And then in the summer, a few months later, you've got Monster Hunter Stories 2. Good luck getting a Switch if you're in Japan. Sorry. It's probably just true. Then was Fitness Boxing 2. I'm looking over at my notes here. Fitness Boxing 2, which hardly has any sort of cult following, but, you know, it's kind of cool. Gotta have some filler in there, right? You gotta have something playing while you're talking about Monster Hunter. Hey, look, don't care. The running of the direct effort, third-party games with effort. They put Monster Hunter Stories on mobile for more money, so I question that success. Karen Boxing. Oh, that's right, yeah. What made me laugh in the trailer for Fitness Boxing was that they showed a character named Karen, and I remember my first thought was, oh my God, don't teach Karens how to box. That's a gigantic mistake. It's like giving a 2-year-old a gun. It's neat and semi-big in Japan. Monster Hunter or Fitness Boxing? So Fitness Boxing, you know, it looks fine. It looks great. It looks like Fitness Boxing, only 2. I didn't write down when all of these are coming out. I don't know. Oh, Fitness Boxing. Oh, is it really big in Japan? Sadly, no. Yeah, no Bravely Default 2. That was kind of strange. I felt that was kind of strange that Bravely Default 2 got a little snubbed in this one. I wonder, Ryan, if that's a big game for them to the point where they'll save it for a regular direct or something like that. Or TGS, Tokyo Game Show, is coming up soon. So they are probably going to talk about it there. Then you got so after Fitness Boxing 2, there was a very sort of minor game. This is one of those games that not really anybody talks about and knows. So we'll blow right past it. It was just Disgaea 6. Dude. Yo, look at you. No idea why people would like that. No idea. No. So Disgaea 6 was announced. I'm not a fan of the graphic style. There was something about the graphics that I didn't really like, and I don't know. I haven't played Disgaea other than 1, so I don't know if that graphic style is new to 6 or if that's something that has been around for a little while. It's 3D rather than classic 2D style. You prefer the 2D style of the earlier game. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, so the 3D style is new. Okay, so the 3D style was definitely new. Can it go in bases and still kill dudes? I wasn't a huge fan of the graphic style, but I thought it looked really nice. And it's Disgaea 6. So that's fine. What I didn't know, that I found out when I rewatched the presentation earlier, from September 23rd to September 29th, you're going to be able to play Disgaea 5 for free on the Switch. I don't know if it's some sort of different version that's going to have timed availability, but according to that, for those 6-7 day period, you're going to be able to play Disgaea 5 for free. That's kind of big. I think it's kind of big. I would like it if they accompanied it with a sale on the available Disgaea games that are on the Switch. What's on the Switch right now? 1, 4, and 5, or is it 1, 2, and 5 or something? It's like weird. Like they skipped 1 or 2 of them. I know we've had this discussion before. Oh, and Disgaea 6 is an exclusive, which is actually, yeah, you're right. That is a big get. I have friends super interested in the series, but it's not for me. 1, 4, and 5 are on the Switch. That's right. So 2 and 3 are the ones that are missing. Hey, I got it right the first time. Gotta love a series that at one point lets you steal a horse's privates and as an equipable item. Good lord. I wouldn't mind getting back into Disgaea. I think when I played it, I think I tried to go a little too hard into like some of the side stuff, and I think that I sort of burned out on it. But ultimately, you can't argue that it's not a great series. It's a very fun, very quirky series. I loved some of the characters from the first one, and I love the character interactions. So I'm interested to see it. I think Disgaea 6. I don't know if it's a system seller, but I do think it's popular. I do think it's something that is very, very much on people's radars now. Then was Empire of Sin. It's like a 1920s, 1930s sort of crime noir type thing. I really don't care. I don't care about that time period. It's not interesting to me. Legend of Korra. One of the reasons I disliked season 1 so much is because it took place in the city, and the city had this whole 1920s, 1930s vibe to it, and that time period is just not interesting to me. Better on PC? Alan don't know that I'm really manipulating. Oh god. Paradox. Oh, Paradox does good games, but they're better on PC. Okay, so that's the problem. It wasn't. It didn't interest me at all. And it's the time period. The game itself looked okay, just okay, but the time period, the setting, and everything, it just wasn't my cup of tea. Which I can make now that I have my TARDIS tea infuser. Then was Sniper Elite 4. All right. It's coming out this year. Yay. They threw a couple games really fast at us. The Long Dark, which looked kind of like a weird sort of survival game. PGA 2K21. It's realistic golf. There you go. Like at this point, you don't really have to say much about it, right? You don't have to say like, oh my god, it's gonna have this. It's realistic golf on a video game. That's it. This game called Hades, which is a roguelike game with a very bright, colorful aesthetic. It looks okay. It looks a lot like Wizard of Legend in the way that it plays. I will probably avoid it. That's actually out now. That was out the day of the presentation. I'll probably avoid it just because I played a ton of Wizard of Legend and it looks very similar to it. It's probably really cool. It visually looked really cool. So that's something to look into. It's by the guys who made Bastion, which I also didn't play. You Can Pet the Dog. Fantasy World War II games all blew together. I don't know. I'm hearing voices. Maybe it's Hades. Hades made by the same guys who made Bastion, Transistor, and Pyre. None of those I played. Sorry, I didn't play any of them. It's just so much to play. Okay. You're gonna get mad at me for this one. You're gonna get mad for this next one. Then they showed Balan Wonderworld. I always say Wonderland. Balan Wonderworld. It looks fine. I know that everybody's really hyped for this game. I know that there's a lot of buzz surrounding this game. It looks like a 3D platformer. It's gonna have 80 different costumes that have different abilities, and they change the design of your character, and it's a fun, whimsical looking world, and it just kind of looks okay to me. One of my biggest problems is that it kind of looks like a collectathon game, and I don't like collectathons. And Wing Zero, yeah, you're right. I get the impression that I'm not the only person that feels this way. but I can feel the hype building for this game to the point where it's like, well, you don't like it just because you hate fun. And it's like, no, I don't like it because it looks a little bland to me. Just as far as the gameplay goes. Visually, it's beautiful. It really is. I love my bright, colorful games. But gameplay-wise, it looks like a basic 3D platformer. It looks like you run around and you collect a bunch of MacGuffins, and maybe there's some sort of a story. And we talk about the 80 costumes, right? There's 80 costumes that are going to give you 80 abilities. Let's be realistic here. We're going to use 10 to 15 of them, and then we're not going to use any more, right? It's like, if for anybody that played Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, there's tons of abilities that you can get. You can get all kinds of shards that do all kinds of things, and everybody has like 6 that they like, and they don't use the other ones. Greg has never known true joy. I'm getting, yeah, and I know people are. Getting it. Yeah, I want to see what, and maybe elements, maybe that'll help me. Maybe if I see more gameplay, I'll be more interested. Sorry, my ear is itchy. You said bland, but it's on the gameplay you don't like. Just say it's a type of game that you don't like and no one will care. Yeah, and that's Hawk, and that's what I mean when I say bland. Visually, it looks stunning. It looks like a lot of fun. Gameplay wise, it looks like a standard 3D platformer. I'm not seeing anything in it that tells me that it is going to be a standout 3D platformer. So for me, it's just not, it just doesn't look like it's for me. It looks like if you like those 3D platformers, you're going to have a blast with it. And more power to you. I just can't look at it and get really hyped. At the moment, it looks okay, but I'm not that big a fan on the level design. Floating portraits is all I needed in Bloodstained. Oh. I do enjoy all the options games like Bloodstained and the Sorrow games give you because, and maybe Sphere, maybe that's the big draw, is that 80 costumes. So yes, we're only going to use about 10 of them, but everybody's going to have a different 10 that they use. So maybe that's the draw. I don't know. I hopefully we don't all land on the same 10 power-ups and then everybody's game experience is boring. Then came Rune Factory 5, which is, I know that game has a serious following. I know that the people that love the Rune Factory games they really love the Rune Factory games. So we saw Rune Factory 5. Looks good. I never played a Rune Factory game. I thought I did, and it turned out I was playing Etrian Odyssey. But it looks fine. So it does look like a lot of fun. I'm just not, I haven't been a Rune Factory player, so I don't really have any opinions on it. Then was the final game, which was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, I think is how it's written. Everybody tells me I should play the Ori games. I've never played the first one, and I haven't played the second one, which is this one, the Will of the Wisps. So they announced that Ori was coming to the Switch. And I thought, oh, that's cool. I'll finally be able to give it a try. It was available later that day. And in an unusual situation, they announced that a website is going to have a physical collector's edition. So I went to the website and checked it out. It is a collector's set that is very cool. It's got this very cool design in the way it opens up. It actually has both games. It has the first one and the second one separately, physically. And then there was some art cards or something. I think there was a little art book. I'm not really sure. I think it was some art cards or whatever. So there's some nice little features in there. Unfortunately, it's $150. So I am going to probably pass on that. Later, we found out that the game, by the way, does run at 60 frames per second. That was a concern that people were having. It does run at 60 frames per second. But later, we also found out that the two games physically will be available later, separately. So you'll be able to buy Ori and what was it? It's Will of the Wisp was the second one. Ori and the Blind Forest. What was the first one called? Yeah. Oh, Blind Forest. I got it right. So you'll be able to buy them physically, separately, at a later date, which is good. I think that's really good. I think that there's a lot of people who Don't care for the collector's edition stuff. Yeah, I know Ryan is one of them. Doesn't really care for the collector's edition stuff, or it's just priced out of their range. You know, the physical copies of the games hopefully are like $40 a piece, so that's $80 for both games. You know, as opposed to $150 for the collector set. If I was able to, I would be buying the collector set because it looks like a beautiful set. It's a very nice decorated art box. I absolutely love it. But you know, it's just gonna have to be a pass for now. So I'll probably get it at a convention in a box somewhere at some point, which you may think is not true. But I got the Axiom Verge special edition at a convention for 30. I got it as part of a set with another game. So he gave me a discount on it. So you know, I'll probably encounter it down the line. But it was weird that they advertised that because it was from iam8bit.com is the one that's doing that physical copy. So it was weird that they advertised a different website for it, but it was cool that they did that. I very much appreciate that. I wanted to get the Ghost of Tsushima collector set, but it's too expensive compared to, let's say, the limited run Blaster Master collector's edition. It does seem pricey for what you get. What's the collector's edition for Blaster Master? Because I wouldn't mind having those. Those are really good games. Get ready to pay $300 for that future. Oh, yeah, we'll see, maybe. You never know. But yeah, so that was a Nintendo partner showcase. Excellent partner showcase. Definitely the best partner showcase that they've ever had so far. Definitely better than any indie showcase that they've ever had. Not better than any direct they've ever had. Absolutely. If a new Switch arrives early next year, I predict a Monster Hunter edition. Mr. L, even if there's not a new Switch, I would expect a Monster Hunter edition of the regular Switch. Did anyone? Wario, I did. It was basically just showing off certain specifics about the game. I did watch that direct that came right after it. That was only like 15 minutes. I was actually expecting that to be longer. It looks okay, but I would like to see more of the game when it's a little bit closer to release, because that's like 7 months out right now. Limited run collector's edition usually come with repro carts, posters, postcards, maybe a cheap figure or cast, etc. Yeah, the limited run stuff is usually really, really nice, but it is always really well priced out of my range, which is sad. That's always kind of a kind of sucky, right? That you get these people who, you know, we're big collectors, right? We especially when it's something that we are very passionate about. We absolutely love to collect it, but it just gets priced out of our range, and it goes to a scalper or it goes to somebody who is hopefully also passionate, but you know, they sometimes aren't. You know, I think the thing that bothered, and this doesn't really count because this wasn't a special edition purchase. This was a giveaway. I always think of the Cyberpunk 2077 statue that they were giving away that one year with the girl with the mantis blades, the mantis blades, and she's like kneeling down. I love that statue, and that statue was given away to people who got to go into the booth and play the game early, and half of those at least probably were sold on eBay for like $500 and $600, and it's a bummer. What will limited run do if physical media goes away? No, I think that limited run and other companies like limited run are there because physical media might go away, because they are there to release games that won't come out physically. I think that limited run and iam8bit and all those companies, I don't think they're going anywhere. Especially with indie companies. Indie companies absolutely love to get their stuff released physically. You know, indie developers probably never expect their games to come out physically. So to have a popular game and to have it come out in a physical edition is probably a terrific feeling for them. It really kind of is, or kind of probably has to be. Later, Sphere, have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. Absolutely. After trying to get an RTX 3080, I know all too well about scalpers. Hey, Dog Harbo, what's up? Limited run will give you games on flash drives if they have to. Yeah, they'll do something. It's just nice that we get that stuff. But Nintendo Partner Showcase, fantastic fantastic showing. Would have been the highlight of the week. Could have been the highlight of the week. Oh, if future consoles have no physical media, though, that's a future I don't want to even imagine, Mr. L. Night City episode 3. Green Saw, I don't interact with those the Night City shows, the Night City things, just because I don't know how much they talk about the game, and I don't want to hear too much about the game. I want to experience the game when it comes out. But the Nintendo Partner Showcase would have been the highlight of the week if it wasn't for the fact that the PlayStation 5 did a showcase event this week, and I think it blew everybody's expectations out of the water. I think every single person who watched this event was surprised at how much great information we received, how great some of the games looked, how fantastic some of the lineup sounded, and honestly, we got the price, and the price is just right. So this is something we were waiting for a while, especially after Microsoft released their prices for the Xbox Series X and S. So everybody was kind of waiting to watch and see what Sony was going to do. There has been speculation that Sony lowered their price down to $500, which I put that picture up, but it doesn't look like you can really read it. There's some speculation that Sony lowered the price ahead of after Microsoft's price came out, and it came out at $500. So we'll never know, right? I don't think we'll ever really know. It should have been $500 exactly. It should have been $500 to begin with. That system should never have been more than $500. They should never have been planning on selling it for more than that. So thankfully, if it did get affected, thankfully we got it knocked down. We called it. Yeah, Ryan, I'm the same way. I called $500 before too. So I'm pretty happy about that. Pat myself on the back. Did you hear about the €80 game? I'll talk about that, Shadow, because I want to ask about that a little bit. I usually wait a year or two for a new console. Yeah, clockwise, I've only ever bought a few systems brand spanking new. Everything else has always been waiting. Even if I bought them new, I waited for them for a while. Usually just because I was waiting to see if there were any defects on the systems. So we got the lineup of games, and we're going to go through the lineup of games here. And this was kind of crazy. This was wild. So the first thing it started with was Final Fantasy 16, which was that was the first announcement of Final Fantasy 16. The only problem was that it was not console footage. It was footage off a PC. And so it was early footage. Still looked great. Looks like it's going back to the fantasy style. I was worried that it was going back to a more modern style, which I'm not really a fan of for Final Fantasy games. I do prefer the more medieval style with swords and dragons and stuff, as opposed to them driving around in cars. So it was nice to see what appears to be swords and magic and castles and all kinds of stuff. So I was happy to see that stuff. Lots of great game info, but no console info. Kefka, I like console info, but realistically, for a long time, I really don't care about the console info as much as the games. I don't care if this console has 16 gigs and this console has 20 gigs, but this console has better games. Does the 4 extra gigs of RAM really matter? That's what I care. I don't really care about the numbers, because that's all it is. When you look at specs, it's number porn. What I care about is, are the games interesting? If numbers were the only thing that mattered, Nintendo would have been out of the game a long time ago, because Nintendo hasn't had a power-wise comparable system in a long time. They really haven't. No one is crazy enough to think that the Switch is comparable to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Nobody thinks that. All I care about is, are the games fun? And that was my problem with Microsoft and the Xbox, is that there doesn't seem to look like a lot of really fun games, really interesting games that I can't also get on PC. Yeah, there's no point in looking at the numbers unless you're a PC fanatic. And Sondox, and if you're a PC fanatic, you don't care about these consoles anyway. You're gonna play the PC because it's the best version of the system. It's gonna be the best version of every game. And I say that as a console gamer. They really are. The PC versions are always the best ones. You have better hardware. They run better. They have more features to them. They're usually moddable. We can put fun mods on them. The PC versions of the games are almost always the best version of the game. So if you're one of these people that really cares about numbers, and you care about numbers so much that you argue over it, then you have a good PC, and that's where you play everything, with the exception of console exclusives, which is becoming the most important aspect of these systems now. Yeah, most of these titles are going to be on PC. So anybody who's really arguing about numbers, you're going to get it on PC. So what's the argument about? You're going to take your $500 and you're going to go and you're going to buy a 3070, because I think the 3070 is the 3070 is the 3070 is 500. The 3080 is 700. And then the 3090 I think is going to be 1200. If you can ever get one of those. The Dark Souls remake won't be on PC. Yeah. I'm at console info as such as back. Oh yeah, you're talking about that stuff. Okay, yeah. So you're talking about like backwards compatibility and all. Kefka, I thought they actually released some of that stuff. I thought they did talk about how it was probably not going to be compatible. I think they said that it wasn't going to be fully compatible with every game. For PlayStation 1, 2, and 3. I don't think it's not going to be compatible at all. I don't know what they said about PS4. I would like to know if it's, does anybody know did they hear anything about whether or not it's going to be fully compatible with all PS4 games? They said 99% for PS4, and they said no PS1 through 3. So you've got 100%. Oh, that's right. We did talk about this yesterday. There's 100% compatibility, 99% compatibility with PS4 games. So there's your backwards compatibility right there. That 1% of games that doesn't play is probably games that related to specific types of controls and stuff like that. Controllers that might not be compatible with the PS5. So realistically, your PS4 library is going to go right to the PS5, which is fantastic. That's terrific. That's all we really care about. PS1 is just inexcusable to exclude. Yeah, I don't know too much technically about how it all works, but I do kind of feel like PS1 should be easy enough to do. I really wish PS2 would have been available, because that would be nice. It would be nice to have a good way to play PS2 games on stream without having a special PS3 and hope it doesn't break, like mine did. All right. Okay. So we had Final Fantasy 16. From that point on, everything else was console footage. So I was very happy about that. I was a little worried because before the Final Fantasy 16 thing, they said that the footage came from PC. So I was a little worried, but then they put up a little disclaimer that said everything for the rest of the presentation was going to be from the system itself. So I was very happy for that. Great, can sell my PS4. Yeah, Mr. L, I think you're going to see PS4s going cheap within the first year. I think there's going to be a flood of PS4s because the PS5 plays PS4 games. Absolutely. Then we got Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I am not a huge Spider-Man fan in any version. I just don't find the character very interesting. I don't find the lore extremely interesting. I've never found the games to be very interesting besides swinging around the city. They just never really appeal to me. This game actually looks good. I watched this trailer and I thought, wow, I would like to play this game. It looks incredible. Here's the weird little twist that apparently they didn't say. That game is coming to PS4, along with a few others that were shown in this presentation. Apparently, some of them are also coming to PS4. It's the same as the PS4 game. See Final Fantasy 16? That's how you do diversity. Miles Morales DLC for Spider-Man. I hear Sage is down here being annoying because he wants his treats because he thinks it's treat time. Here, I'll give him some. I won't bring him up to the camera, but I will give him some treats because he has been. This is normally treat time for him. I went to give him treats and he was looking up at me because I wasn't handing them to him. I wasn't feeding them to him. So yeah, Spider-Man Miles Morales looks really good. Looks like an incredible game, a really fun experience. With the capabilities of these systems, nowadays, I imagine the city is going to be gigantic and there's going to be a ton of stuff to do. I'm actually pretty interested to see this game running. You thought Spider-Man? I didn't play it. Emil, I didn't play Spider-Man on PS4. Like I said, I'm not a huge Spider-Man fan. It looked fine on PS4. I just didn't really care. This actually looks really good. They confirmed that Miles will have a Spider-Verse costume. Ooh, I kind of like that. I would like to see a Spider-Verse game that looks like the movie. I think that would be great. Okay, hold on. We got to move on to the next one. We got to talk about the next game. And this is going to be a mess here. My hair is all over the place. This is going to be a mess here. The next game they showed was Hogwarts Legacy. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. So it looks like a fine game. It looks like an okay game that takes place in the world of Harry Potter. But damn, do we not like J.K. Rowling? Holy smokes. I have seen a ton of backlash online for this game, and they are everybody's pretty much saying the same thing. I get that you like Harry Potter, but please don't support any of this stuff because she makes money off of it, and she's kind of a crappy person. Just what did J.K. Rowling do this time? Other than the fact that she is still who she is, apparently she's got a new book that's either out or coming out. She is a TERF. She is someone who is known for that she's basically anti-trans. She has, with comments that she's made and behaviors that she has that she has shown, she does not like trans people. She does not like trans women. She is one of these people that thinks that trans women are men and they need to stay that way, and she thinks that they are just not. She just doesn't like them. She just doesn't like them. In her new book, she talks about how she doesn't like there's an excerpt from the book where it was something about someone wearing a burqa, and it was like it could be, you know, that woman in a burqa, you know, it could be a man that's trying to take advantage of you or something, and it's just like, holy smokes, you just can't let it go. And this is, of course, in addition to all the crap that she would say before. Like, it felt like every few months she would say something stupid because she was losing relevance. So the bottom line is she's kind of a crappy person. She's transphobic. She hates trans people. And so it's like she's a disaster, right? So there's a lot of people talking about don't support this game. I don't know where I land on that, but it is kind of like, oh boy. You know, I don't know where I land on it, and at the same time, I don't go to Chick-fil-A anymore. You know, I don't like what their I don't like their ideologies of the ownership. So I don't buy food there anymore. I don't really care. I'm not struggling. If I want to make waffle fries, I can go to the supermarket and buy waffle fries. If I want chicken tenders, I can make some chicken tenders. There's recipes online of how to make the chicken tenders taste exactly like they do at Chick-fil-A, so I really don't care. So it's sort of the same thing. Like I don't need to interact with anything. I love Harry Potter movies. I love the first 8 movies. I thought the Fantastic Beasts movies were boring. I don't need to interact with anything more at Harry Potter because I know that it supports her. So I really don't care. She's a crappy person. And it's not like I'm struggling for something to watch or play because I'm not playing Harry Potter. So other than that bad event, then we got one that is always, I think this is always a bit of a hot take. Call of Duty Cold War. They showed a very cool trailer for that. Whether or not you like Call of Duty, whether or not you will play those games, whether or not you like military simulations, the bottom line is, this trailer looked like an exciting movie. It really did. It looked fantastic. As far as the game, it's Call of Duty. You know what I mean? It's Call of Duty. It looks like a military simulation shooter, so that's fine. You know, it's Call of Duty. The trailer itself was terrific. The trailer itself was great. It was a great action movie. I wanted to see every second of it. The game itself, Call of Duty. That was the bathroom break. Press triangle to sniper rifle. Yeah, in Sondox, that's really all I care about. Is it going to be free to play? Sondox, by the way, Call of Duty Cold War is free to play this weekend. I believe this weekend you can download it and play the whole game for not the whole game. You can play the multiplayer for free this weekend. I think I want to try it. I think I want to download it and I want to give it a shot. So I will probably post on Twitter and see if anybody is interested in getting together and playing a little Call of Duty this weekend. Maybe we'll play a little Warzone too. Ruth, what? I think ray tracing helps. We'll come back to that, Ryan. Is that true? Oh my god. All right, so we got Call of Duty. They showed a quick thing for the Village, or Village, which is, I guess, Resident Evil 8. Looks fine. You know, it looks okay. Yeah, it's Resi 8. You know, what more do you need to say? It has a shopkeeper. It does look like it has a shopkeeper from, who was Resident Evil 4? Was he? What are you buying? Howdy, stranger. I'll buy it at a high price. Then it's only 267 gig. Jesus Christ. Then we had this game called Deathloop, which looks kind of cool, but the trailer was very stylish, and the game just kind of looked decent enough. Maybe it's a lot more fun to play. I don't know. There was something about the trailer that looked exciting, but it didn't look like it was for me. Chris kills Mia so Ethan can continue the Redfield line with Claire. Yeah, they keep showing Deathloop, and it's just like, okay. All right. Yeah, I know it exists. Stop reminding me. Devil May Cry 5, they showed. Looks good. It looks like a cool game. Apparently, what's the character? Virgil? Is that who it is that you can apparently play as? So that's kind of interesting. I'm a little sad that what's that cool song that played the first time? Devil Trigger? Is that what it was? We didn't get to hear that song. A little sad about that. DMC5 Virgil Edition. The Deathloop trailer really feels like me, please. Yeah, Devil Trigger is Nero's battle theme. I don't think it played during that trailer. I was a little sad because that's a cool song. I have listened to that song a few times, even though I've only ever played Devil May Cry 1, Dante for Life. I'm a Devil May Cry Gen 1er. So then after that was Oddworld Soulstorm. Why did I spell it like that? Oddworld Soulstorm was after that. The Oddworld games they're good games. They're really good games that I don't think get a lot of positive attention. I don't think they get a lot of attention at all. But they're good games. They're good platformer games. Maybe the visual style is just very strange, but I don't know. I think that they're pretty cool. I wouldn't mind going through them at some point to actually like really play them all. They've got that graphic style that's almost like claymation, where there was a game called Heart of Darkness that I think Heart of Darkness was like that, where it almost felt like this sort of claymation platformer. Which sounds weird until you see it moving and you're like, oh yeah, I kind of see that. I kind of see the claymation thing. You know what they look like? They look like high graphic versions of games like Flashback and Out of This World. So these early polygon type games, with these great movement, great animations on the characters. So that's what they always kind of remind me of. I remember when I first played Oddworld. And I remembered thinking, yeah, the cinematic platformers. I remember when I played it, I remember thinking like, wow, this feels like Out of This World. Not that it was Out of This World. There's a game called Out of This World. But yeah, it looked really good. You know, it looked weird and quirky and a little bit gross, which is the Oddworld a stamp of approval, basically. So I'm interested to see it. I don't know if that's a buy for me, but it definitely looks really cool. Then was Five Nights at Freddy's. It looks like some sort of Five Nights at Freddy's game. It looked like it had more of a story, and maybe there was more of an adventure to it. But it's Five Nights at Freddy's. I really don't care. It's just jump scare the game for me. I know that the Five Nights fans are gonna love it, but for me, it's just jump scare the game, and that doesn't interest me at all. It's such a one note sort of thing. I'll skip those. Game Theory burned me out on them. Yeah, it's like higher budget FNAF. It's like, this is the sort of stuff that PewDiePie screams at, and everybody, all the 12-year-olds go crazy for it. So it doesn't really appeal to me. You know, maybe there was another bathroom break. So yeah, it's like, then there was an extended trailer for Demon Souls. At first they didn't say, so I was like, oh, this is definitely a Souls game. So Demon Souls, which is the Demon Souls remake, which I think is a PS5 exclusive. I know that there was some speculation about whether or not that was coming to PC or not. I think they're saying that it is a PS5 exclusive, which is a really decent exclusive, even if it's a timed exclusive. So that's a really good one. That I think that I don't know that that's a system seller, but I think that you buy the system, you pick up Spider-Man, and you want to buy something else. I think it's real easy to say, oh, Demon Souls. I think that's an easy grab. Yeah, it's going to be PS5 only. Yeah, visually it was phenomenal. It was great. And you know what's going to happen. You know that looking at it. Yeah, you think it's a launch system seller? Do you think it's a system seller? I don't know if it's a system seller. I think it's you were already buying the system, so you might as well pick that game up. I think that's what that game is. Oh, you're getting it definitely for Demon Souls. Interesting. Then we do have a system seller on our hands. Very interesting. But yeah, it looked remarkable. I still probably won't play it because it's a Souls game, and I haven't really sat down to learn how to play Souls games. But Demon Souls was amazing looking. I was happy to finally see next gen gameplay. Yeah, and you know what's gonna happen once people have Demon Souls in their hands and they look at it, they're gonna say, Dark Souls remastered, Dark Souls remakes, Dark Souls 4, let's go. Bloodborne 3, let's go. Let's do it. Right, there was a Bloodborne 2, right? A system seller for Souls fans, not for the mainstream. Okay, so maybe that's a bit accurate. Oh, just Bloodborne. All right, then Bloodborne 2. How about a Bloodborne 2? How about Sekiro 2? Sekiro is often considered a Souls type, a Souls-like experience is what I always heard with Sekiro. So how about Sekiro 2? I'm pretty sure that Dark Souls games are going to be finished for now. I don't know. Kingsfield 5, do it, cowards. Yes, I love it. Kingsfield 5, and give me a killing time too. Legend of Daniel, thank you so much for the 20 bits. See you something stupid that happened earlier. I pre-ordered 3D All-Stars Best Buy. Went to pick it up today. They ran out of stock of it without setting some aside. Besides online pre-orders, they said they wouldn't know when they get more. I went to GameStop, pick one up before they ran out. When's the silver lining? I'm interested in sitting down and watching a full episode. Well, we're streaming it right now. Legend of Daniel. So you're here. You've made it. A second Bloodborne would be a good idea. I really think that that's what's going to happen. I think that especially with Demon Souls, I think that people are going to look at it and they're going to say, it's time for Bloodborne 2. It's time for Sekiro 2. It's time for Dark Souls 4. Oh, how often is it? Fridays 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're running long today. We're running super long today because we have very chunky topics and we started a half an hour late. But yeah, normally if you check below, down below this screen here, you'll see I have a little banner with the times for all of our streams. But yeah, 5 to 7 p.m. Fridays. Want them to collab with a Zelda Souls game? Oh boy. Oh boy. God, I would play it. I would play it. Then we got a weird announcement. I don't even know why we got this announcement, but I guess we kind of needed that announcement. They only ate up like 30 seconds, but it was still kind of weird. They made it a point to announce that Fortnite is going to be on the PS5. Okay. Like, I played Fortnite for a few years, and it was fine. It's just, is that really the game that you need to take this presentation and carve 30 seconds out of this presentation to say, hey, by the way, Fortnite's coming? Okay. Yeah, like day one purchase, system seller. Yeah. So it's like, it wasn't, yeah, and Grandy, it wasn't a long trailer, right? So I would have been annoyed if they took like 3 minutes, but it was like a quick 20-30 second trailer. That's fine. It's just weird that they threw it in the first place. Like that's so strange to me, but you know. Fortnite with ray tracing. I can't lie, I'm a little interested to see how much graphically better it looks. Then we had two more announcements. There were two more announcements here, and I feel like they were kind of chunky. I feel like these were good announcements. They talked about the PS Plus and how the PS Plus is going to be available day one on the system. It's going to have a PS5 compatible component. And day one, with the PS Plus, you are going to be able to have access to God of War, Bloodborne, Monster Hunter World, Final Fantasy 15, Fallout 4, Mortal Kombat X, Uncharted 4, Ratchet and Clank, Days Gone, Until Dawn, and Detroit Become Human. That is a terrific. Oh, and Persona 5. I didn't even write that one down. That is a fantastic lineup of games. There's a good chance if you are an avid Sony PlayStation player that you have or have played most of these. I can tell you right now, as somebody who is mildly interested in the PS5, I can't really say mild, I'm interested in it. I have not played most of these. I have Monster Hunter World and Detroit Become Human. I don't own any of those other games. And they are all good games on some degree. That's a really good lineup of stuff to have on your PS5 because, let's face it, you're going to buy the PS5, you're going to buy one or two games, and who knows if those games are going to burn out really fast. This gives you a nice variety of stuff to play. I think it's really good. I see a bot. Smite the bot. I'm not going to smite him. I'm going to leave the bot right there. Wondering now if I should wait a year or so to buy PS5 or PS4 or buy a PS4. I mean, it's up to you, Daniel. What you want to do. If you want to wait, that's totally normal. PS4 systems are going to sell. There's going to be a ton of them out there. So as far as the system goes, you should be, they're going to be everywhere. If you plan on trading in your PS4, it might be best to do that soon. But it's really kind of up to you. Is it just Persona 5? That's Mecha. That's a question that I do kind of have though. Monster Hunter World is going to be on there. Is that going to include Iceborne? Persona 5 is going to be on there. Is that going to be Royal or is that going to be regular? I am interested to know if some of the DLC for some of these games will be available with these PS5 Plus or PS Plus versions of these games. They're saying it's vanilla. It's Persona 5 vanilla. Okay. So that's interesting. Yeah, I like to keep my old console, so that's what I'm going to do. What did you think of the 16 trailer? I thought it looked great. Jesus, and hello, by the way. I thought it looked great. We talked about that earlier. It looks fantastic. I like that it looks like they're moving back to the medieval setting, which I prefer for Final Fantasy games. It kind of looks like Final Fantasy 14, the individual game, the separate game. So that was the PlayStation Plus announcement, and then we got one more announcement at the end, which was a nice, cool announcement, a nice way that they slid it in there. Dad of Boy Ragnarok, God of War, new God of War game. Boy. They didn't show anything for it. This was sort of like Metroid Prime 4, where all we saw was some sort of teaser that alluded to the fact that the game exists. It is definitely Ragnarok. So, but we didn't see any footage of it or anything like that. I'm kind of interested. I want to see. I would like to play God of War. I wanted to play Dad of Boy. I did not like the old God of War games. I didn't like the character. Kratos. I thought he was the warmongering, angry all the time type character, which I don't find very interesting. Full of rage, and that's just not interesting to me. The version of Kratos in Dad of Boy was much more interesting to me. With the little bit that I've seen of that game, that was a much more interesting character to me. I wasn't a fan of the combat. That's the only thing. Since I never played it, I don't know how the combat feels. But as far as the presentation of the character, much better. Much better. I like to see how they approach Ragnarok in the Dad of Boy story. Personally, I like Thor. Oh, Thor Ragnarok was great. If we're following the Ragnarok name down a rabbit hole here, Thor Ragnarok was a terrific movie. We need a crossover of Zelda CDI games and the new God of War games. No, because they're not in Gamelon. Where are they in God of War? I don't know physically where they are. In the Zelda CDI games, they're in Gamelon. Will we get Jeff Goldblith? I don't know who Jeff Goldblith is or what you're drinking. God of War was so good we didn't have to see anything. Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, they said like coming. It's Midgard. Is it Midgard still? Okay, all right. So it is Midgard in well, yeah. I guess since it's North. It would be Midgard that we're in. So yeah. It's not Gamelon. So that would be a weird crossover. I didn't say I wouldn't play it. It would just be weird. Yeah, it was in Norse mythology. It's Midgard is our world. Hold on. Midgard is our world. Alfgard? Olive Garden? Is the world of... Is that the underworld? What are they? Oh my god, Trios, you gotta know this. Midgard is our world. Valhalla is the Alfheim. Alfheim, that's what I'm thinking of. That's I think the underworld, I think. And then yeah, Valhalla is the realm of the gods. See, now is Valhalla the realm of the gods, or is Valhalla the hall where the dead go while they wait for Ragnarok? This is spiraling out of control here. That's right, and hell is the underworld. But they're all like branches of the world tree. Everything is like part of the world tree. Both. Okay, so it is both things, yeah. But then everything is like part of the world tree. Which is the world tree is where Odin hung while he absorbed the knowledge. I'm like a Norse nerd. Yes, Yggdrasil, which I always love that name. I was for some reason he hung upside down for 7 days while he absorbed the knowledge of the world tree. He hung upside down. Trios now got a picture of Odin upside down hugging the world tree. It's just like yeah, Norse mythology I find is very interesting. It's just more fascinating. I personally I think so, and it's cool, and cool names and cool characters. But anyway, so that was the PS5 presentation, and then it ended with actually I think it came right before the Data Boy announcement, but we finally got the price, which was $500, $400 for the diskless system. This is perfect pricing. That is absolutely perfect. I know that there are people out there who are still excited for the Xbox Series X. I know that there are the people, because I think the Xbox Series X numbers wise is still going to be the more powerful system. The problem is at an exact same price point with better exclusives, it's kind of hard to see anybody buying an Xbox Series X over a PS5. It really kind of is difficult for me to see that. What I will see, I think we will see, is people buying the Xbox Series S over the PS5 digital, because that's $100 cheaper. But for the Xbox, since there aren't really any exclusives, other than Halo, I don't think there's any notable exclusives on the Xbox. So for an all-digital Xbox at $300, wouldn't you be more likely to take that $300 and buy components to upgrade your PC? That seems more viable, because that's one thing that I've made the mistake of doing, and I think a lot of other people are making that mistake too. People are comparing the PS5 physical version, the $500 system, and the Xbox Series X, which is also a $500 system. They're comparing that to the PC. One of the reasons you would buy either one of those systems over upgrading your PC is physical games. People do like their physical media. I love physical media. I would absolutely get a physical media player over an all-digital system. If you choose PC over one of these systems, you are also going all-digital. They very rarely make physical copies of PC games anymore. Half of us, I imagine, don't even have optical drives in our computers. Most of us have ditched optical drives, and we're just all digital right now when it comes to our computer. So that's the more comparable scenario there. I just really don't think that there's a reason to buy the Series X at all. It's not cheaper. There's not going to be better exclusives. There's not going to be anything on that system that you can't play on your PC. And if you're really that interested, you will upgrade your PC. It's not really that expensive. I think that that's one thing when it comes to upgrading or even building a new PC, is that it's not as expensive as everybody thinks that it is. Most of us right now have a PC that is capable of running games at a very nice quality with some simple upgrades, with some RAM upgrades, with a better graphics card. You put a 1650 in your system, which is at this point already it feels like an outdated graphics card, but right off the bat you're getting increased performance. You change your hard drive to an SSD and you get massively increased performance, or you get loader boot times, I should say, for that. I think Xbox has the best IPs. While it was still just Xbox, honestly, they were
Your
trying.
ideas are
different things.
intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Legend Daniel, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome. Most people don't want to think about building a PC and just want an Xbox. And that's the thing, yeah. Hawk, building a PC still feels like a very daunting task to people. And it is, if you're not technologically savvy in even the slightest, building a PC does seem like a very out there thing. But as far as the cost goes, it's very comparable nowadays. You can build a PC for $500 that is very comparable to these systems that are coming out. Absolutely. Especially if you want to go with a DDR3 system, but we're getting too complicated. A lot of games are being optimized for consoles too, so you don't need to spend a bunch of money to play new games at high settings for PC. Yeah. They usually give you more features. They usually give you more mods and things you can do. I should look at building. Daniel, I built my first PC last year, and I helped John build his PC a few months ago. If I had more money, I would build more PCs, man. I'm addicted to it. I love that sensation of it. But yeah, so that was the PS5 presentation. Fantastic. I think it was better than anybody was expecting, as far as the presentation goes. Buddy, you gotta knock it off, my guy. You gotta relax. We'll get you there. I know. It's dinner time in like an hour. Sliner dropping a Gonzalez time. I love you, buddy. It's too early for dinner. Give me about an hour. Okay. But yeah, PS5 presentation, fantastic. I definitely came away impressed. I know Ryan came away impressed. Ryan came away so impressed he pre-ordered a PS5 and Spider-Man. But just remarkable. Looks like my cat. Yeah, he's a black cat with sort of greenish, yellowish kind of eyes. Very generic. I'm gonna head out now. No problem. Daniel, have a good one. Thank you for stopping, and thank you for the follow, and thank you for the bits. I very much appreciate that. If Gonzalez is silver points, what are gold points? There are no gold points, only silver points. Silver points are the top, tippy top here. He's our little panther lad. If I don't get Demon Souls or Godfall, my PS5 will be souped up PS4 for the first few months, which is not a bad idea. I don't have a PS4 Pro, so a PS5 might actually work the same way. I think it looks good. Same color eyes also. Oh, and he must be adorable. Let me ask you, Alz, does your kitty also have a very long panther-like tail? He has the longest tail. Like, he lays down and the tail hangs off the side, and it's like all the way to the floor. Yeah. This was the push the PS5 needed to start the momentum. Yeah, Dragoon, I think that this presentation was very important for PS5. I think it was very important, especially the pricing. I think it was very necessary for them to drive some sales, and I think that they better have a lot of these systems ready to go early on. Absolutely. But we'll probably do just a couple of these, but it is the viewer topics portion of the show. So if you have, yeah, he does have a long tail. So if you have anything that you would like to bring up, feel free to do so right now. We'll probably blast through just a couple of these because we are running super late today. Off to bed, 2 a.m. here. No problem, Sliner. Have a good one. Thank you for stopping in. I didn't know it was 2 a.m. I hope you're not too sleepy. So I apologize for keeping you up. Previous one was nice to see what it looked like. New IPs. But this was incredibly solid. Yeah, I wish we knew clearly about the PS5 backwards compatibility. If just the disc were, Mecha. I think that's what they're saying. I think that 99. I think that's what that 99% is that your PS4 games are going to work straight up. Do you think much of the 3DS games besides Codename Steam should be imported to the Switch? Aqua, I don't know that there's a lot of 3DS games that should be brought to the Switch, but I do think there should be So I do think there should be people looking into it. I do think that there should be polls done by Nintendo to see if they brought 3DS games over to the Switch, what would they like to see? I do think that there are a lot of games on that system that didn't get a large chance that would have a much better chance on the Switch. Absolutely. The Black Panther wants treats. Yeah. Oh, Xbox. It's got to show off they need to show off some exclusives. Microsoft has if they don't show off some hot exclusives soon, they're gonna lose it. I'm sorry, Hellblade is not enough to hold the system, to hold people's interest. Halo would have been enough to hold people's interest, but that was delayed, and it's coming to PC. If we ever get a Microsoft and Nintendo collab, what would you like to see? Donkey Kong Country or Donkey Kong would be nice. Banjo would be nice. How about a Donkey Kong Banjo crossover? I think that would be interesting. I think that they have similar types of gameplay. They have similar reputations. I think that those two characters existing in the same world would fit very nicely. I would like to see a crossover between Donkey Kong and Banjo-Kazooie. Ori, I've never played Ori, so I don't know what the character's like. How about some Ori representation in Smash Brothers? Maybe a character, maybe an assist trophy. I don't know. I think that would be kind of interesting. Mario Galaxy in 3D also looks way better than I could have imagined. I'm going to have to play it. I got my copy here. I don't know. Do I open it? Or do I scalp it next year? Hard to say. Mario 3D. Yeah, I haven't played it yet. Look, scalp it. That would be a good idea. It would be nice if Nintendo would look into that. Yeah, I think that they work. Oh, yeah, and Halo's going to be on the Xbox One. Or Xbone. Port the Rare back catalog. How about the Rare Replay? How about re-releasing Rare Replay on the Switch? Whew. I think if they had the opportunity to put Rare Replay on the Switch, I think it would sell like 5 million copies. Absolutely. I definitely think that would sell a fortune of games. New Conker's bad for a day. I like Conker for what it was at the time. I think that a lot of Conker's appeal was a sort of shock value. And I think that shock value is kind of gone now. I think a new Conker would be a nice game to play, but I don't think it would have the draw that they think it would. It was very of its time. Gex was sort of like that. Can I just say the Galaxy in handheld mode is not? Yeah, that's Ronan. That's sort of the problem with Mario 64 and Sunshine and Galaxy is that you question whether or not they're good as handheld games. But you know, on this big screen, they're fine. Put Killer Instinct, Bobo. Thank you. Put Killer Instinct on the Switch, please. Yeah, dude, Rare Replay on the Switch, I think would sell 5 million copies. Absolutely. It's the Duke Nukem of the N64 generation. Conker's not PC enough for Greg. No. It's not about the character being PC. It's just that the big draw for the original Conker was that it was the shock value. Like, oh my God, he's this cute squirrel character, but he gets all drunk and he curses, and there's a boss that has giant testicles that you're supposed to smash with bricks. And, you know, there's all these things, and it's just like, oh, that's it's so in your face. It's so poochy. And then, but how many times does that work before it's like, okay, it's Conker, so there's gonna be another pile of poop, right? There's gonna be this, there's gonna be that. And it's just like, okay, I get it. It's gross. Like, okay, I'm joshing you. And the opera singing poo. Like there's only so much you can get out of that before the shock value wears off, and then you're just stuck waiting for a good game to happen. So if they don't do that, you know, it's like porn games. If anybody's ever played any adult games out there, the draw of adult games is, you know, there are naked people on there, typically women. it's naked women. But once that shock value wears off, the game sucks, right? That's why they're not good. That's why that they have one value. Porn games have one value, and it's that you see naked people. There's never good gameplay. Yeah, once you've done your thing, which quite frankly, you go to a website and get your thing done. Yeah, you're not playing the right porn games. It's just those shock value games. That's all they're good for, and then once that's done, there's nothing left. Oh, well, people like Mahjong. Yeah, right. If you're throwing out recommendations there, and mind you, I'm talking about games that are focused on porn, not games that are Tetris but have naked ladies in the background. That's not a porn game. That's a Tetris game with a naked woman. Like Bubble Bath Babes. Has anybody ever played Bubble Bath Babes? It's kind of like Bubble Bobble, but there's just like naked women on the screen while you play it. Okay. Poochie is a very wholesome dog from Yoshi, I'll have you know. Okay, yeah. We're definitely thinking about different Poochies. Nintendo and Microsoft partnership continues to go well. Maybe Rare could get a second chance with Dinosaur Planet. Oh my god, actual Dinosaur Planet. Tetris porn, it's more common than what you think. Ooh. Oh. Line piece. Yeah, it's just more visual novels, but yeah, in Hawk, visual novels are, we're still questioning whether or not they're video games. Do you think it's time for the next Smash DLC character? Yeah, I think it's time for the next Smash character to be announced. They're probably going to announce it at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday. Knowing the way it's been with Nintendo lately, we're gonna wake up on a Wednesday morning and it's gonna be like, they announced the new Smash character. It's actually out already. Excuse me. Yeah, I mean, are we gonna wrap it up there? Should we wrap it up there? That was sort of an abrupt ending. We just ran super duper long. And I'm getting a little hungry. All right, so why don't we wrap it up there? Let's shut that off there. Yeah, abrupt endings are the recruit. My ending is gonna get interrupted by a random Twitch ad. Any Smash bets on the month for announcement? Not really. I don't really have any announcements. I have characters that I want that I think would be very cool, but I don't think are gonna happen. So we'll see what ends up popping up with these. Greg gonna end this like The Sopranos. I would never end this like The Sopranos. That wasn't abrupt enough. It needs to be like dark for Sopranos ending. Thank you everybody for stopping in and for hanging out. I very much appreciate it. I think this is the longest I've just talked continuously in one stretch. I have my windows open. I'm sure my neighbors can hear me, and I'm sure they're hating me by now. So I apologize, neighbors, if anybody out there happens to have heard me. If you're watching this right now and you've not yet done so, please go ahead and click follow. That would be very much appreciated. And if you have a Twitch Prime sub or a free or an extra $5 laying around, feel free to go ahead and subscribe. That would help us out a lot here. Absolutely. Also, check the links down below. Follow us over on Twitter, which is where I post all sorts of funny pictures and updates, including PS5 Chan, which if you did not see that picture, I didn't really call her PS5 Chan, but if you go to my site, if you go to my Twitter page, you'll probably find it. And also follow over on YouTube, where I usually try and remember to upload this show, and then I want to try and do some more stuff with YouTube. I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I want to do with my YouTube channel. But I would like to do a few more things with it. Maybe like clips from this channel, clips from gameplay and stuff like that. But we'll see what happens. But follow us over on there just so that when I do decide to do that stuff, you are privy to it. Also, we have a Discord. You can follow us over on Discord and jump in there, hop in and join the conversation with a lot of other people. A lot of very cool people in there. I pop in from time to time. Even if I don't say anything, I like to watch. If you're watching this on YouTube, that means that I remember to upload this show, so I very much appreciate you watching and here. Go ahead and please click subscribe and like here on YouTube, and check the links down below also where you can follow us over on Twitter and Discord, and you can follow us over on Twitch where we do this show weekly Fridays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern, and we stream 3 other days a week, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. But you can follow us over on there and check us out and catch us whenever we go live. Get my buttons ready. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in and hanging out. I very much appreciate this. Was a super long stream, but we had some great topics here. It was a great week, and I while my week was mediocre at best, the announcements that we had were always were terrific. And one of my favorite things about getting a week full of cool announcements is that I know that on Friday I'm going to be able to sit here and talk about it with everybody. So I very much appreciate you stopping in and hanging out. Take it easy, everybody. Have a good time this weekend. Play some fun games. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And I will see you all next time.